Good evening and welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, and I'm coming to you live from just outside of Chicago, where tonight we're witnessing what could be the most significant transformation of American government in our lifetime. Here's a live look at the White House right now. Yes, it is all lit up, and Donald Trump inside working diligently. Yes, we're streaming live on YouTube to millions worldwide and simultaneously on Rumble and X. And if you're not following us there, you need to be, because what we're about to share tonight might just get censored. So here's what's happening. On this historic day of Donald Trump reclaiming the White House, we're seeing a systematic dismantling of the deep state apparatus that's been bleeding your tax dollars dry for decades. And nobody in the mainstream media wants to touch this story, but we will. And before we dive in, I want you to do something important. Take out your phone right now and text this live stream link to 3 people you trust. Why? Because the algorithms are actively suppressing this information, and we need to bypass their censorship. This is too important to leave to chance. And speaking of importance, if you're watching right now, you are about to witness something extraordinary. We've got explosive revelations about USAID that will make your blood boil, evidence of ICE raids being deliberately sabotaged, and wait until you hear what Kash Patel is about to unleash regarding a certain list. Yes, the people trying to stop this information from getting out are in absolute panic mode. And for everyone watching live, I can see you. Thousands of you pouring in right now. We will be featuring your super chats and Rumble rants between segments, putting your voices and your questions on screen for the world to see. Your support through these platforms gets priority attention, and trust me, you're going to want to be part of the conversation tonight. But here is the thing, and this is crucial. We can only keep bringing you this level of uncensored truth with your support. The powers that be are trying everything they can to shut us down. That's why we've launched our channel memberships with exclusive perks and special acknowledgement in the chat room. The link to join is in the description below. And for those of you who want to wear your support proudly, we have our exclusive limited edition Mag Avengers collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It's not just merch, it's a statement that you stand with independent media. Now, tonight's show is absolutely packed. We're talking about Trump's latest executive orders. They're sending shockwaves through D.C. and a unprecedented sneeze attack happening in real time. Oh, man. Yes, they're sending shockwaves through D.C. The unprecedented exposure of USAID corruption that Elon Musk just uncovered, sanctuary cities getting the hammer dropped on them, and bombshell developments in the client list saga that's making certain senators very, very nervous. Now, between each segment, we will be taking your super chats and featuring them on screen. It's because your support keeps the operation running, and the links to donate are in the description below. Remember, when you support Next News Network, you are not just helping us, you are helping preserve one of the last bastions of true journalism in America. So stay right there. Don't touch that mouse. The Raw Feed starts now, and believe me, you will not want to miss a single second of what we are about to reveal. Now, let's welcome you to the show. Who's here? Seam Check 11 in Canada. What's up? We got Kathleen in the house. Woody is in the house. Eric C. and Mr. RC51. Joan Hampton in South Mississippi. We've got Lorena Ashcroft, Pothead Kenny. What's up, man? We got Sure You in the house. Mike's son. Bobby Riesling, Jeremy Franklin, Mike Lara, Standing Foot is here. Ty Anderson in the house. Who else? Wesley. We got Duty to Rebel, Running Bear, Pamela, Dangerous, D-Sax, Dennis Anderson, Coffee Angel Crafts, Matt and Missy are here as well. Pelosi received $137 million from USAID and Politico. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Cisco. Scott Powell is here as well. Drones under 2A. Bartman XOXO is here. Canada in the house. Rod is here. We've also got Robin and Doreen and Larry. Seam Check. A Dove's Feather. Abraham and Stephen is in the house as well. Scott Williams, Benson's. Is there? I hear some crumbling going on in the background. I'm not sure what that is, but okay. All right. Who else is here? Eric C. is in Illinois. Anita Van Dam, JJ, Sean Gonk, Bill Mortlock, the Mississippi Patriot, is here. Bill, we've been waiting for you. Clayton is in the house. Benson's Speed Shop, what's up? Abraham is here. Woody 74NO82970. Deanna, Chipper 31, Scott Williams. It's me, Kiki. What's up, Kiki? Brian is here. We got Casey Freeman, Steve. Oh my goodness, the gang is all here. What is up, Mary? I see you too. Everybody, Carolyn and Lee and Karen. Cindy Rose is here. Oh my goodness, everyone is in the house. Shall we begin? I think we should. Now, I do have a new earpiece in today, so it's okay. I'm just getting used to it. So if I seem a little off, it might be because of that. Nancy Pelosi's liver finally showed up. Thank you. Okay, we've been waiting for that. All right, let's get into it. The deep state bureaucrats never saw it coming. While they were busy planning their next taxpayer-funded diversity seminar, President Trump was preparing the most comprehensive assault on government waste we've seen in American history. And tonight, we've got exclusive details about executive orders that are sending shockwave through Washington's corridors of power. From eliminating billionaire tax loopholes to banning men from women's sports, Trump is not just draining the swamp, he's setting it on fire. And wait to hear about what's happening with federal workers. We've got internal documents showing mass resignations, and the numbers will shock you. Yes, sometimes the swamp just drains itself. And as Trump dismantles billionaire tax loopholes and reshapes federal policy, one thing's becoming crystal clear. Our financial system is in for a major shakeup. The elites are already moving their assets, preparing for what's coming. They know what Trump's executive orders mean for the dollar, and they're quietly stockpiling gold. Why? Because gold doesn't answer to Washington bureaucrats. It's the ultimate hedge against government overreach. That's why I trust Noble Gold Investments. Visit nextnewsgold.com, and with a qualified account, you'll receive 10 1-ounce silver American Eagle coins. That's nextnewsgold.com. The number on the screen, 877-646-5347. Give them a call. Tell them that Gary Franchi sent you. All right, let's get into it. We got some really good news today. Yes. What you see on the screen there, that is Olivia Giuliana. And she's now claiming that she has lost 50 pounds because she can't afford to eat since Trump won the election. So, I mean, talk about cutting the fat in Washington. We're already seeing it here happen in real time with Democrat influencers. Yeah, she says she's down 50 pounds because I can't afford to eat in Trump's economy. Yeah, that's the way it is. So congratulations to you and your weight loss. So much is happening here. We've got the CBS interview was just released with Kamala Harris, unedited. And now we get to see exactly what happened. We've got a lot to get to in this segment, so just bear with me. And I want to make sure you get all the details. But let's just check in with how Jesse broke down this segment.
Listening.
We got our hands on the raw footage of Kamala Harris's 60 Minutes interview. Last October, in the heat of the election, Harris, Hail Mary with CBS. But the network was caught deceptively editing this answer. Watch.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening. The Wall Street Journal said that that your administration has repeatedly been blindsided by Netanyahu. And in fact, he has rebuffed just about all of your administration's entreaties.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region. And we're not going to stop doing that. We are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end.
Trump sued CBS for $10 billion, and it looks like they might settle. But before that happens, the FCC released the full interview, unedited, and we have the tape. They talked for an hour and left a lot out. Here's an answer that never made air. Watch.
I'm trying to understand how it is that with this emphasis on the border, the numbers of crossings quadrupled under the first 3 years of the Biden-Harris administration. How did that happen?
There are a variety of factors that relate to what we have seen globally and what we are not immune from at our own border in terms of what we have seen in terms of surge of immigration and irregular migration. And there are solutions at hand, but we've got to have leaders who are solution-oriented, which we've been and are.
Leaders who are solution-orientated. Yeah, okay. She was a leader, and she had no solutions. We got this now. Check this out. At least 50,000 federal workers have opted into the deferred resignation program. A Trump administration official familiar with the matter told Elena Train the deadline to decide the offer is at 11:59 Eastern tonight. After that, more widespread layoffs are expected imminently. So if Donald Trump is already draining the swamp, 50,000 federal workers. And we've got some more. President Trump, he fought for us, a lot of people stepping up to the plate and making sure it is known.
For her. I fought for her. And I fought for her. I fought for her. For her. For her. I fought for her. We fought for her. And President Trump has fought for all of us.
For us.
He fights for us. Fought for us.
President Trump fought for me. For us.
For us.
For us.
For us. For us. I'm so grateful that President Trump has fought for us. I fought for
President
her.
Trump making big waves by making sure that only women are represented in women's sports. We've got this also. Gavin Newsom reveals California voter ID was discussed in spirited and engaging meeting with President Trump. Goes on to praise the Trump EPA for LA cleanup efforts. Let's listen to that slick politician.
President Trump has pressed for California requiring voter ID and changing to the water system. Did that come up at your meeting with him?
We talked about both, yeah.
You talked about both? And did you say you would?
Ongoing conversation for over, I feel like I told the president when he's on the tarmac last week in Los Angeles, I said, we're picking up on the last conversation we had around water 4.5 years prior. So I will say this, he's very focused on that issue. He certainly targeted some of that in terms of some of the actions he took by executive order.
2 billion gallons of water.
And so we had and that's why it was an extended conversation. I didn't even know people knew how long the conversation was, but it was an extended conversation. And so it was spirited. And look, and it's exactly.
Spirited how so? Bring us into that.
Because we were just, it was an engaging conversation. You know what it was? A two-way conversation. And that's what it should be. I mean, just different points of view, expressing a different understanding of the nuances on the ground, but an appreciation to get something done.
Did you tell them the 2 billion gallons of water didn't help with the wildfire?
Well, I think it's been well covered.
Okay.
I understood. But, look, I kept going back. It wasn't about focusing on the disagreements. It was about focusing on what we have in common. What we have in common is a desire to support the people of L.A. and also recognize that in 2028, we've got the Olympics coming to Southern California. We have an opportunity of a lifetime in the next 3 years to do something extraordinary. And I will say this.
He's dropping 2028 already, right? What do you think about that? Here we have this. This is just 24 hours ago, large anti-Trump protests forming around the state capitol building in Minnesota. The crowd's been chanting anti-fascist slogans. And this guy, Brian Krasenstein, he says, I fully support people taking to the streets. Okay, that's enough of that. You understand. Sure, they can scream all they want into the wind, but, they'll get their social media moments, and we will keep on winning. We also have this. President Trump's policies putting America first. That is what we need. Democrats and leftists love to call Republicans hateful, but let's be real. Who's spewing the hate? This looks like a social media post.
You guys Same thing. The first genuine question for leftists, Democrats, liberals, whatever you call yourselves, how are you going to claim Republicans are the hateful ones when you actively hate anybody with a different opinion than you? How can you claim a moral high ground when you tell women you hope they get raped and miscarry? Or you tell parents that you hope their children die in school shootings? Or you say things like, Laken Riley deserved it. She was just a whore anyways. So how are you going to claim that Republicans are hateful and you have a higher moral compass than them when you're actively being hateful and actively showing you have no morals? You guys spewed the same thing the first time Trump ran as you did this time. 78 million Americans could care less and they voted for him. How are you going to call people uneducated and say that we're brainwashed and yada, 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 but you're the minority? And you're still spewing the same thing over and over, no different points. You just say the exact same thing over and over. And then when you're proven wrong, you instantly start attacking this person. How can you claim any morality at all? Your entire campaign was based on whether or not you could murder your unborn child.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Yeah, she's making a great point. They're going to continue spewing their talking points all day long, but we're going to keep on winning. Here we have just 9 hours ago, President Trump announcing he'll be sending an executive order to make Attorney General Pam Bondi the head of a task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias.
To confront such weaponization and religious persecution, today I'm signing an executive order to make our Attorney General, who's a great person, she's going to be a great Attorney General, Pam Bondi, the head of a task force, brand new, to eradicate anti-Christian bias. About time, right? Anti-Christian bias. To confront such weaponization.
I certainly can get behind that. Here on The View, what are we learning? And it's trouble. The View is in trouble. They said something very crude about the White House press secretary. Now Levitt has filed a lawsuit against them, which could have major financial ramifications for ABC. Uh-oh.
Serious legal battle.
The View hosts have got themselves into hot water again after they did the very thing they purport to be against.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
The View has found itself in yet another crisis, but this time, it's not just bad press. It's a serious legal battle that has put ABC executives on high alert. Caroline Levitt's lawsuit has turned into a major headache for the network, sending leadership into emergency meetings as they scramble to figure out how to handle the fallout. What started as just another controversial comment from the show's outspoken hosts has escalated into a legal war that could have lasting consequences. The controversy began when Joy Behar took a direct shot at Caroline Levitt, dismissing her qualifications and implying that she had only secured her political role due to her looks. Her remark wasn't just an offhand insult, it was a blatant attack on Levitt's professional credibility. The irony was hard to miss. The View, a show that prides itself on advocating for women, had no issue tearing down a young, successful conservative simply because they didn't agree with her.
Because it seems like all common sense has been lost in this city.
The backlash was swift as viewers called out the hypocrisy of claiming to support women while actively undermining one on national television. Normally, the show's co-host would brush off the criticism, issue a half-hearted apology, and move on. But this time, Levitt refused to let them get away with it. Instead of ignoring the attack, she responded with legal action, filing a defamation lawsuit against The View. The lawsuit sent shockwaves through ABC, with legal experts pointing out that the comments made on the show weren't just rude. They could be legally questionable.
Uh-oh, The View's getting sued. Look at this. We got this. Karen freezing and glitching out when asked about black women who voted for Trump. And, of course, she's wearing her pussy hat.
They leave black women out.
What does this sign mean to you?
You know, black women are probably the least respected in America. Their voices aren't heard. Their issues aren't paid attention to. Many white women look beyond their own personal interests, and they leave black women out of the conversation. And I think America needs to change about that.
What are we not trusting them to do right now?
How to care for our country, how to care for each other, how to stand up and fight for things that aren't right.
Millions of black women voted for Trump. Should we trust them?
Ooh, I'll take your...
Oh, yeah.
Millions of black women voted for Trump?
Way too many. Way too many. It is beyond me.
Should we trust them?
I don't know.
Maybe not trust black women then.
That's not true. I do trust black women.
Who'd vote for Kamala Harris?
I think.
Brandon Straka causing a total short circuit in his leftist.
He wants to know if I trust the black women who voted for Trump.
I think they voted against their own interests, so it's really hard to put the idea of trust together with someone who is continuing to vote against themselves, right?
So it sounds like they don't have very good judgment.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's not having good judgment. I don't think they necessarily connect the dots, and I do.
They're stupid.
No, they're not stupid, but I think it's.
No, I'm just asking but it is hard to trust people who are stupid and have bad judgment, right? And black women who vote for Trump are stupid and have bad judgment.
No, we did not say that.
I think they don't connect the dots, and so they're looking at only certain things and thinking that's important, and not connecting the dots.
It sounds like those black women need to be educated by white women like you.
Yeah, not
true. Not.
They just need a good white woman to come in and tell them what's up.
You're putting words in our mouths again, and you're trading it.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to do that.
This idea that white people are going to be the white saviors pisses me off.
But if white women like you don't educate them, how are they ever going to learn to vote the way that they're supposed to vote?
You know, as a white woman, I'm happy to help educate and talk to people, but it's not my job to go convince somebody else.
I hope you're able to get through to some of those untrustworthy, stupid black women. Good luck.
Brandon Straka, Walk Away Movement founder. Love it. Okay, here we have more. Press secretary announced to reporters that President Trump intends to eliminate tax breaks for billionaires, which are not available to the general public. Oh, I'm sure Bernie Sanders is going to love this. How is the left who's been saying billionaires don't pay their fair share? How are they going to hate on this?
Products. So these are the tax priorities of the Trump administration that the president has laid out for members in that meeting today. No tax on tips, which is obviously a very public campaign promise that the president made. No tax on seniors' Social Security. No tax on overtime pay. Renewing President Trump's 2017 middle-class tax cuts. Again, these are the president's priorities. Adjusting the SALT cap, eliminate all the special tax breaks for billionaire sports team owners, close the carried interest tax deduction loophole, tax cuts for Made in America products. This will be the largest tax cut in history for middle-class working Americans. The president is committed to working with Congress to get this done. So
let's go, baby. Let's go. Here's a young lady. She gets it. Trump said there will be no longer be years of living on Section 8 because people have been depending on it for too long.
Your feet. I personally don't agree with a lot of things Trump is saying, but this one specific thing makes sense to me. To all the people that's on Section 8, he is giving y'all 2 years to get on your feet. Trump said stop being dependent and become independent. I agree. I'm not no hating ass bitch. I'm not knocking nobody's situation. But if you really think about it, Section 8 is only to assist you to get on your feet. Section 8 is a stepping stone to get you on your feet. Section 8 is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Government assistance is not something you should depend on for the rest of your life. Keyword, assistance. To assist you. Y'all done got too comfortable. There's people that's been on Section 8 for like 10 plus years. Oh my. That's a long time. Within that amount of time, you should have a lot of money saved up in your bank account, in your savings account. Y'all too busy buying the newest shoes, buying the hottest cars, trying to keep up with the trend, buying designer purses, buying designer clothes, but you're in public housing. If you can buy designers, you can pay your house rent without assistance. Like that.
And Donald Trump is on the case. Oh, here we have more. President Trump to sign executive order banning men from female sports.
males from, as you can see, my classmates are super excited that Donald Trump is signing an executive order in 40 minutes to ban males from female sports. We got to get rid of those men. They don't belong in female sports, all right? You've got to divide it. Men from women. It's Title IX. It's in our federal law. It's common sense. I don't know. I hope the people behind me have some common sense. If not, we're going to have to teach them. But men have advantages physically and biologically. This only makes sense. So many women have been disenfranchised in races, whether it's swimming or on foot or on the track. And so we need to clamp down on the nonsense, and it's happening today.
Amen. Making women's sports great again. Here we go. Also, did you see this? This was making some headlines. RFK Jr. putting something in his water while flying. Apparently it's called methylene blue. Now, I'm not making any claims here, but it says mitigates radiation burden, protects against oxidative stress. It's an antiviral, so you don't catch a cold, and it boosts autophagy if you're fasting on a flight. So this person says, also that dose I don't recommend, but he's spearheading a movement. So this was going viral. Everyone's like, what is RFK doing? What is he doing? Putting this stuff in his drink. And everyone starts searching for it. And now we're getting some answers. Here we have Donald Trump, the most heartwarming 2 minutes ever. Oh, look at all those kids. And he's not sniffing any of them. Oh, we are so back, baby. We are so back.
You know, if you'd like to gather around me, I think I'm going to be okay. Come on. Come on. Secret Service is worried about them. If we have to worry about them, we have big problems. Okay, do you want to have a film? You want to do this? Watch what I do, and then I'm going to give you some pens, okay? Are you ready? What a nice picture this is, huh, Governor? You ready? We'll do a good job. Wait, let me press that. I want to make this a really good signature because this is, this is a big one, right? Oh, I think we have a 10. We have a 10.
God bless you, Mr. President.
Pretty good, huh? Okay? Good. Now you're going to go out and win those events, right? Nice to see you all. Nice to see you. Great going, everybody. Nice to see you. Thank you, kids. Here. Take a pen. I'll give some of these out, okay? Take a pen. Take a pen.
Promises made, promises kept. And now we have... It looks like a clip from Mario Nafal. His royal prince, Al-Weed, who bought the Plaza Hotel from Trump, has some comments regarding Trump. This is from Tucker Carlson.
You know Donald Trump well. I know him a long time ago, from the time we bought from him the Plaza Hotel, and we also bought from him his Trump Princess yacht that I still have.
How did you wind up with Donald Trump's yacht? Not many people can say that. Not many people have Donald Trump's yacht, but you do. How'd you get it? I mean, how did that happen?
Yeah, we bought it, I think, in the late 80s. And Trump did take possession of it, and he renovated it. And I think he reached a stage where he did not really want to have it anymore. So we did buy it from him.
What was your experience with Trump? What's he like?
No, I mean, look, with Trump, I think if you're straight with him, you get a straight answer. We've had very good dealing with President Trump, when he was a businessman, whether during the purchase of the Plaza Hotel from him or buying his Trump Princess yacht.
So you were not anti-Trump?
Oh, no. We can't be anti-Trump. Because we are pro-America. We have to be pro-Trump. Especially with the new policies that he's taking right now.
Yeah, baby. You can't be anti-America and pro-Anti-Trump. This man is talking about how both America and the American people thrive if President Trump successfully gets rid of the income tax. Everybody is waiting for this. Everybody. I am praying for this, folks. I hope you will too. Let's listen to this guy.
Are through the. What happens if Donald Trump successfully gets rid of income tax? If Congress drops income tax and switches to a tariff-based system, we're looking at the biggest economic explosion in probably 30 some odd years. Think about it. Your paycheck, instantly fatter. Businesses scaling overnight, and investments are through the roof. You see, right now, the government eats about 20 to 30% of every dollar you make before you even see it. But with this in place, that's gone. You just gave yourself a $30,000 raise without lifting a finger. What happens when millions of Americans suddenly have extra cash? They buy more, invest more, and build more wealth. Imagine running a company and never stressing over payroll taxes. No more FICA headaches, no more IRS taking a chunk before you even see profits. Instead, that money fuels growth, bigger teams, better infrastructure, and limitless scalability. Some of y'all are thinking about offshore structures right now, but with this in place, you wouldn't even need that. For high net worth individuals, tax strategy is only half the game. Eliminate income tax? Now the focus shifts to asset protection, trust structuring, and strategic reinvestments. Wealth compounds even faster, and the ones who move fast will build dynasties. Now, whether this really happens or not, that's politics. But for the people who understand the game, the moves are the same. You position yourself now so that when the shift happens, you're untouchable. The question is, are you thinking that far ahead? What happens if Donald Trump successfully...
Oh, we are thinking that far ahead for sure. We've got more. Here's what the people of D.C. think of Doge putting a pause on foreign funding.
Oh, no, it's not a good...
President Trump recently paused a lot of aspects of our foreign aid. What do you think about this? Do you think it's a good idea? Bad idea?
Terrible idea. Hell no, it's not a good idea.
Pretty awful idea.
He's selfish.
It's kind of bad.
I think it's reckless. Do you think it's important that we spend money on some of the things we are, like, for example, $20 million going towards a Pakistani version of Sesame Street? You think that's a good use of our foreign aid and taxpayer dollars?
Well, I think they just need to, reevaluating some of the things.
Isn't that what Trump's doing by putting the pause on?
It's basically it.
Good investment of our taxpayer money?
Oh, yeah, baby. We are so back. Here we have Dana White asking, how is MSNBC still on the air? I can't even listen to them. It's almost like a comic strip. It's a cartoon. That network gets so bad, it's unbelievable. I love Dana White. Let's listen.
They are. I don't judge anybody by their politics.
Yeah.
And I follow CNN and MSNBC and all these other, and because I like to hear everybody. MSNBC, I don't even know how they're still on the air. They are the nuttiest. I had to unfollow. For me to do that, it's like, I love hearing everybody's opinion. They are nuts. It's like I can't even listen to them. They're so, it's almost like a comic strip. Like it's a cartoon, that network. It's like a cartoon. It's so bad. It's unbelievable. And it's the whole, if Trump says it's blue, they say it's black. If it's, it's just, it's so bad. But yeah, no.
But
won by a landslide.
Anyone in your personal life?
No.
Do you feel like there's been a change?
Oh, yeah. There's not one person that I know that is a hardcore liberal and they're out there arguing about anything anymore. It's dead. It's all gone. Actually, the exact opposite. The people that I know that were very liberal, they're not very right, but they're definitely not very left.
I know.
Right?
And everyone seems to have accepted free speech as the status quo now. I think so. You've been sticking with that for, through the middle of all of this, famously. But now people are like, yeah, okay, I disagree, but you get to say what you think.
Yeah. No.
Does it feel that way?
Yeah. It needs to be that way. You can never let that go. You let that go and we're all in big trouble, man. But I also felt like after the election, there was a sigh of relief. And not just in the United States, but all over the world.
Yep.
Here and other countries that we go to, it's just everybody is celebrating the fact that Trump won the election.
On both.
Everybody is celebrating. everybody a sigh of relief. And Dana White, if you don't recall, he's now on the board at Facebook after that famous meeting that happened there. We also have, I guess, we got something funny. You guys want to hear a joke?
You don't like Trump? Yeah. What do you not like about it? I'm just curious.
No, I'm nothing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I also do that. You guys saw the comics on the show earlier, right? And what do you do out of curiosity for a living?
I work for a
Translation. So like a Chinese person comes up to you and they're like, he hates Trump. Trust me, I translated it. What about the husband? Are you allowed to have an opinion in the house? No. What do you do, man? Yeah. That does sound like a guy who would date a girl that hates Trump. I was on the street homeless, and then I found this translator. And I'm being an asshole for, like, that's why they're all here. You guys are just dumb liberals that bought tickets to the wrong show.
Oh, man. You guys see his shirt? What does his shirt say? Ben Bankus. Shirt says Wuhan Institute of Virology. Oh, man, I got to get a shirt like that. Oh, no, we got to sell a shirt like that. That's how it works here. Okay, we've got some more what Trump derangement syndrome looks like. Uh-oh. Racism towards white people is real. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Dare we? Okay, let's listen.
Get shot by the police. Will not look like what you fucking look like. They would have shot you already. So be fucking thankful, because police kill black people every fucking day, and you will never get a taste of it because you just sat here and fucking yelled at him.
Okay, enough of you. Okay, let's go to the press secretary instead. Caroline Leavitt dropping the mic, slamming Democrats for whining over USAID.
To ensure. And one more thing before I wrap up, because I do want to get to these meetings and I will see you all at the EO signing later this afternoon. I would just say that you brought to mind California and North Carolina, who continue to be on our hearts, and the president and this administration are committed to ensuring that these individuals get the funding that they need. And I would just say a strong message to Democrats who are out there pretending to be outraged about the long list of crap that this administration is cutting, federal waste and funding, like $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq, $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I could go on, and I'm happy to provide this list to every single one of you. Democrats are outraged that the American people want to be they want their taxpayers going to good uses, not stuff like this. But then they're very quiet about the fact that there are still North Carolinians and people in California who have lost everything. And in the last 4 years, this federal government did nothing to help them. This president will continue to put Americans first. And I think the successes of this week so far speak to that. And it's only Wednesday. So I'll see you guys later this week, and we'll see you this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Yeah, baby, let's go. And we got some good news from my friend Terry Newsom, pointing out a fellow Chicagoan, Jim, father of young twins, just received a pardon from Trump for his involvement on January 6th. Other Illinoisians and I stayed at the same hotel as him. Unfortunately, the feds targeted Jim for being a Proud Boy. Let's listen.
Years would throw almost. So I'm here with my buddy Jim Bob. He just got pardoned by Trump. Look at this. This is a pardon by Donald Trump right there. Certificate of pardon right here. This is for our Downers Grove friends. So look at that. Look at that. And Terry King, I want to thank you. You gave me this shirt at our event, and I want to give it to somebody that's more worthy. Jim got sentenced to 3.5 years, almost 3.5 years. Twins for January 6th. He didn't hurt anybody. He just got pardoned by Donald Trump, and he's worthy of your T-shirt. So thank Terry King for giving this T-shirt that's going to somebody that's more worthy than me, my buddy Jim Bob.
The winning doesn't stop. Oh, and speaking of winning, MSNBC anchor Andrea Mitchell has confirmed she will be leaving the network on Friday after 17 years of spreading disinformation. Oh, my heart breaks. I wonder where she'll go. Maybe she'll fade into obscurity where she belongs. And Trump, this was during the campaign on men and women's sports. He said, we're just not going to let it happen. This is during the campaign. And now a promise has been kept.
Careful, because easy question, and everybody in the room, and you know that answer, we're not going to let it happen. You look, just yesterday, they had a volleyball match. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Where a person that transitioned, okay? We have to be very careful because this can terminate your political career if you say it's slightly off, all right? But transitioned from man to female and was on a volleyball. And I saw the slam. It was a slam. I never saw a ball hit so hard. Hit the girl on the head. But other people, even in volleyball, they've been permanently, they've been really hurt badly, women playing men. But you don't have to do the volleyball. We stop it. We stop it. We absolutely stop it. You can't have it. It's a man playing in the game. Physically, from a muscular, even if it was a little bit less, maybe they do all sorts of tests and drugs and everything else. Look at what's happened in swimming. Look at the records that are being broken.
So how do you stop it? Do you go to the sports leagues? Do you go?
Well, he just did. He just stopped it, signed an executive order. And speaking of something bizarre, we've got Peachy Keenan revealing that there was a study, $8 million, to study the effect of flavored cigarettes on bisexuals and lesbians. There is the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill receipt. Holy cow. The effects of flavored cigarettes. Wow. Okay, there's something really cool I want to show you. We've got more clips to get to. But there's, remember the impeachment. And it was Michael Schellenberger just exposed something absolutely insane that has now come out with respect to USAID, I believe. He exposed something massive. Trump's first impeachment in 2019 wasn't just political, it was a deep state coup. A so-called whistleblower accused Trump of pressuring Ukraine to investigate Biden. That claim led directly to his impeachment, but now we know the story, the real story. The whistleblower was a CIA analyst. His evidence came from an independent news group called OCCRP, but OCCRP wasn't independent at all. It was funded and controlled by USAID, a U.S. government agency that specialized in overthrowing foreign governments. USAID didn't just fund OCCRP, they approved its employees and directed its work. That means the very agency accused of staging coups overseas helped take down a sitting U.S. president. Even worse, OCCRP's own founder admitted his group has probably been responsible for overthrowing 5 or 6 governments because that's what they do. And in 2019, they used those same tactics against Trump. Fast forward to today, Trump is back as the 47th president, and he just shut down USAID, the very agency that helped rig his impeachment is gone. This time, the coup plotters didn't win. The deep state underestimated Trump once, and now he's made sure they will not get a second chance. Check this out.
Or claim to have heard, hey, everybody, it's Mike Schellenberger for Public.
I love this guy, man. This guy dives deep.
House of Representatives impeached President Donald Trump in December 2019 after a White House whistleblower went public with evidence that Trump had abused his powers by withholding military aid to Ukraine in order to dig up dirt on his rival Joe Biden. In the complaint, the whistleblower claimed to have heard from White House staff that Trump had, on a phone call, directed Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky to work with his personal attorney at the time, Rudy Giuliani, to investigate Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. The whistleblower who triggered the impeachment was a CIA analyst who was first brought into the White House by the Obama administration. Reporting by Dropsite News last year revealed that the CIA analyst had relied on reporting by a supposedly independent investigative news organization called the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, or the OCCRP, which appears to have effectively operated as an arm of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, which President Trump has just shut down. The CIA whistleblower complaint cited a long report by OCCRP 4 times. The OCCRP report alleged that 2 Soviet-born Florida businessmen were key hidden actors behind a plan by Trump to investigate the Bidens. Those 2 businessmen connected Giuliani to 2 former Ukrainian prosecutors, according to OCCRP. The OCCRP story was crucial to the House Democrats' impeachment claim, which is that Trump dispatched Giuliani as part of a coordinated effort to pressure a foreign country to interfere in the 2020 presidential election, which is why the whistleblower cited it 4 separate times. In a 2024 documentary that the German television broadcaster NDR made about OCCRP's dependence on the U.S. government, a USAID official confirmed that USAID approves OCCRP's annual work plan and approves of new hires of key personnel. NDR had initiated and carried out the investigation with a French investigative news organization called Mediapart, an Italian news group called Il Fatto Quotidiano, Reporters United in Greece, and Dropsite News in the United States. However, according to a Mediapart story published the same day as the Dropsite News article, NDR censored the broadcast after U.S. journalist Drew Sullivan, the co-founder and head of OCCRP, placed pressure on the NDR management and made false accusations against the broadcaster's own journalists who had been involved in the project. On December 16th, Dropsite's Ryan Grimm posted a link on X to the 26-minute-long documentary. NDR, Germany's public broadcaster, is facing a censorship scandal, he wrote, and it's defended itself by saying it never killed a news report about OCCRP and its State Department funding because no report was ever produced to kill. That was absurd, wrote Grimm, and dozens, maybe hundreds of journalists knew it to be false. And now, of course, someone has leaked it. The Dropsite journalistic collaboration revealed that OCCRP's original funding came from the Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs of the United States State Department. And it quotes a USAID official who says,
Drew was just nervous about being linked with law enforcement. Yeah.
But why?
You know, because sources maybe, right? If people that are going to give you information think, oh, you're just an arm of, you're just a cop, right? I mean, maybe it's a problem. Or and other governments, say you're trying to get into a country and do something, and the government says, what are you, law enforcement or not, right? Like, there's a need that the separation, the independence is important, because if you lose that, you lose your sense of it's a value. Your reputation is incredibly important.
OCCRP does not operate like a normal investigative journalism organization in that its goals appear to include interfering in foreign political matters, including foreign elections, that are aimed at regime change. Sullivan told NDR,
"We've probably been responsible for about 5 or 6 countries changing over from one government to another government, because and getting, people, prime ministers indicted or thrown out."
As such, it appears that the CIA, USAID, and OCCRP were all involved in the impeachment of President Trump in ways similar to the regime change operations that all 3 organizations engage in abroad. The difference here is that it is highly illegal and even treasonous for CIA, USAID, and its contractors and intermediaries, often called cutouts, to interfere in U.S. politics in this way. In response to questions that we sent to OCCRP, it threatened to file a lawsuit against us. "The premise of your article is factually false and defamatory," wrote Miranda Petrusik, the editor-in-chief of OCCRP, in an email to us. Media that USAID has control over editorial appointments has been disproven, she wrote, and we suggest you read our response to that. But neither OCCRP nor anyone else has disproved Dropsite's allegations, and Dropsite stands by them. And
folks, that is absolutely groundbreaking news right there. Michael Schellenberger dropping a bomb. We've got more. Let's keep going. We have more to get to. Let's take a look at, where's that clip? Here is, here's Tucker Carlson more. This is Mike Benz.
He was blamed for the rise of... All it took was Donald Trump getting elected for arguably 200 years of a First Amendment principle to be entirely discarded because it was leading to the wrong kinds of people being elected. Free speech on the internet was blamed for the loss of the Philippines election by the State Department in 2016. It was blamed for the events of Brexit. It was blamed for the rise of Trump in 2016. It was blamed for the rise of Bolsonaro. It was blamed for the rise of Modi in India. In country after country, the free and open internet, unfiltered alternative news, the rise of citizen journalists, the rise of citizens in those countries who have larger voices than CIA-backed media has meant that the State Department has lost control of those countries. And what happened was, after 2016, the technology and the networks were established to be able to add a new toolkit to American diplomacy, which is diplomacy by censorship. So you have truckers in America whose income tax is going to pay foreign governments to censor their citizens.
We're becoming the Soviet Union.
Not anymore. Not in Trump's America. We are living in a new era, my friends. The golden age is upon us. Here is Pam Bondi in her first time as Attorney General of the United States. This was just 9 hours ago.
We've got our newest U.S. Senator, and we've got my next fellow cabinet member and my friend Bobby Kennedy. Thank you all for our whole team is here. Thank you, and all of my friends and my wonderful family, Catherine Cyber and Liz Lyons and everyone, and all of my pastor, Aaron Burke, all my best friends. Leo, thank you for working with us too. We're so happy. Gianna, thank you for being here. My wonderful father-in-law, everyone in this room, thank you so much. Andrew.
Let's go, Pam Bondi in the house. Oh, yeah. Oh, but Jamie Raskin, though, he is freaking out. He posted this, that Elon Musk is systematically seizing control over our nation's communications, financial systems, data, and military infrastructure, saying Musk isn't a fourth branch of government, just another Silicon Valley who wants to be the dictator of the world. Oh, man, these guys are going to continue to fearmonger all day long.
What I see are all the telltale signs of a coup. A coup is a seizure of state power by unelected actors who work to take over the critical infrastructure of government outside of the rule of law. And that's what I see as going on right now. I mean, Elon Musk has basically tried to take control of the country's communications infrastructure, the governmental financial payments infrastructure, the data infrastructure, and he's got important parts of nodes of the military infrastructure. So I'm looking right through Donald Trump, who no doubt wants to abuse everybody's civil rights and civil liberties and centralize all the power in him. But at this point, you know, I'm with Steve Bannon and Laura Loomer and the people on the right who are saying, watch Elon Musk because he's the guy who's trying to centralize all power behind him, and he hasn't been elected to anything. What I see are all the telltale signs of.
But you know, President Trump did in fact make him a official employee of the government, so he is working for President Trump now. That's the case. So all these fear mongerings, they can continue to go on. Thomas Massey, you can see here, just reintroduced the Senior Citizen Tax Elimination Act, which Donald Trump promised. H.R. 1040, this bill assists middle-class seniors by eliminating the unjust double tax on Social Security benefits. Why your Social Security benefits would be taxed again is absolutely absurd. And let's just hope this is passed. President Trump will no doubt sign it into law. Also this, just 24 hours ago, President Trump to reclaim all classified documents from the FBI's corrupt Mar-a-Lago raid. CNN forced to report this news.
Suggesting he didn't. Now the breaking news, President Trump is now expected to get back the classified documents and other materials the FBI seized from Mar-a-Lago. Stand by for details on that as the new Attorney General is carrying out Trump's agenda to overhaul the Justice Department. Also tonight is President Trump's plan for a U.S. takeover of Gaza sends shockwaves around the world. His administration 2022 search of his Mar-a-Lago estate. Our chief legal affairs correspondent, Paula Reed, is gathering all the details. Paula, tell us what we're learning and what does the law say about this?
Yeah, Jim, now that this...
What does the law say about this? Really? Is that the question you're going to ask? Donald Trump is the law. Pam Bondi is the law. But this is CNN.
Case is closed. President Trump is expected to get his stuff back, and that is expected to include some classified documents. Now, the FBI searched his Mar-a-Lago property back in August 2022, and at that time, the FBI found approximately 100 classified documents mixed in with other stuff like birthday cards, golf shirts, and even a photo of Celine Dion. And now that the case is closed, there is a process for him to get much of this back. But I think some people obviously have some questions about the classified materials. But now that he is president again, he has broad discretion over classified materials, which is why he is expected to have those returned when anyone else would not.
Paula, you also have some new reporting on Attorney General Pam Bondi's priorities as she takes over the Justice Department.
That's right. Today was her first day on the job, and she signed over a dozen memos laying out how the Justice Department will pursue the priorities of the Trump administration. So she laid out several different objectives. The first one, the most notable one, is that she's going to review cases that have been brought against President Trump. Not only the two federal cases, the classified documents case we just referenced, the elections diversion case, both brought by Jack Smith, but also the case in Manhattan, the so-called hush money case where he was convicted, as well as a civil case that he also faced. She also signed memos dealing with everything from DEI, something we've seen across the government change as Trump has taken office, not only the internal policies, but externally. She said that the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department will be used to prosecute what she describes as illegal use of DEI in the private sector or educational institutes that accept federal funds. She also just laid out how their overall priorities will change and how she wants prosecutors to shift their focus to immigration, human trafficking, and protecting law enforcement. Another interesting change in these memos, changes at the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearm, ATF. They're going to shift their focus away from alcohol and tobacco enforcement and instead use those resources to pursue other priorities like immigration, enforcement, and drug smuggling.
Did you hear her chuckling when she reported that? Yeah, these people have so much disdain for President Trump, but we see right through them. And President Trump is realigning the priorities of this government. Trump administration, this just in, to present a plan to end Russia's war with Ukraine next week. That is according to Bloomberg. We've also got, I had a clip here from Dan Bongino I wanted to play. Check this out too. Dan Scavino, a portrait of the 40th, this brings a tear to my eye, 40th president of the United States, Ronald Reagan, now hanging up in the Oval Office. How cool is that? A portrait of Ronald Reagan now hangs back in the office where he once held. Oh, President Trump talking at the prayer breakfast. Let's listen in, reflecting on Butler.
Honestly, it changed something in me. I feel even stronger. I believed in God, but I feel much more strongly about it. Something happened. So thank you.
Oh, I feel stronger. The whole country feels stronger, Donald Trump, now that you are back. Oh, here's Dan Bongino. Have you ever seen anything like this? Dan Bongino, I've never in my 50 years in this planet seen anything like the past 2 weeks. Me either. I am just sitting back in awe of the news cycle. It is the most exciting news cycle I have ever had to cover. And for years, all I was covering was just the destruction, the attacks, everything against Trump. And it was just like wear down on your soul. And now we can celebrate and we can watch, but we got to keep our guard up. Got to keep our guard up. Let's hear how Dan Bongino breaks it down.
You haven't. Have you ever seen anything like this? I know you haven't. Because I'm 50, so I'm going to guess 50 years old, that about half my audience is above and below my age. I have never, ever in my 50 years on this planet seen anything like the last 2 weeks. Ever. I don't know how I'm going to recover from this show after 4 years. I'm going to have to start taking blood pressure medication.
Blood pressure medication? Yeah, we've got a sponsor for that, by the way, Dan. Boostwithgary.com. Okay. We got this. Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Mission 1 starting today. Our vets. Let's listen.
12th VA Secretary. Hey, everybody, it's Doug Collins. Wow, first day on the job. I want to thank President Trump for nominating me to be the 12th VA Secretary. I'm here in my new office. It's like most days. You know, it's a new start. I'm learning the ropes, learning where to go, who to see, even, probably trying to find the bathroom. But, there's one thing I don't have to look for, and that's my mission here. My mission is for our vets. Our mission is that the VA will be so America First focused because America First puts our veterans first. That's what you're going to get from me. You're going to see me a lot here. I'm going to keep you up to date. We're going to be transparent because our veterans deserve nothing better. And to the veterans who work at the VA and the employees at the VA, you're not going to have a better friend than me because I'm going to raise the bar, hold you accountable because we have a job to do. Mission 1, starting today, our vets.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. They put it all on the line for us. And now Donald Trump, he's always loved the vets. And now he's going to make sure that they are properly taken care of, even as that previous administration just looked the other way and let them just rot. Okay, we got this. Pam Bondi, what's up?
The ground running. The last 2.5 weeks have just been a warm-up. We are about to see some shit, people.
Oh, yes, we are. We are certainly about to see it all happen. President Trump also announcing an investigation into California's high-speed rail project.
Overbudget. One of the things I want to investigate rapidly, because I've never seen anything to this extent, the train that's being built between Los Angeles and San Francisco is the worst managed project I think I've ever seen, and I've seen some of the worst. Billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars over budget. In fact, I read where you could take every single person that was going to go on the train and get the finest limousine service in the world and take them back and forth with limousines, and you'd have hundreds of billions of dollars left over.
President Trump, the investigation into Gavin Newsom's absolutely wasteful spending in California about to take place. My friends, I can't even get over all the crazy stuff that's happening in this country right now. I am so happy. I am so blessed. You are blessed. We're all being blessed. America's being blessed. And even our dear friend here, Olivia Giuliana, down 50 pounds because she can't afford to eat in Trump's economy. God bless her. So what we have witnessed today is nothing short of revolutionary. President Trump's executive orders aren't just changing policy, they're fundamentally restructuring how our government operates. The elimination of billionaire tax loopholes, the protection of women's sports, the streamlining of the federal workforce are not random actions, they're calculated moves in a larger strategy to return power to the American people. Oh, my goodness. But here is what everybody should be asking. Why are 50,000 federal workers suddenly rushing to accept early retirement? What do they know that we don't? Are they afraid that they could get prosecuted for something? Share your theories in the comments below. I'm going to read them, and let's get to the bottom of this together. And show your support for real news with our exclusive Mag Avengers collection available at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It's linked below. All right, folks, we are only out of the gate with our first topic, but I did see some absolutely amazing chats that came through. We had $50 from Stephanie. Thank you, Stephanie, so much for that. Also, Useful Idiot dropping $5. He just smacked Hillary Clinton in the mouth with getting rid of the tax breaks for the rich because of their debate in 2016. Do we all remember that? Exactly. That's why I said, how are they going to complain? How are they going to turn this into a negative? That's all they complain about, tax breaks for the rich. And we got Craig dropping $5. Thank you, Craig, for that. Checking in on the main chat room feed. Okay, let's go. We've got glad you're back. Love all this winning. Scontac. Dark to light says overeducated. Mr. Cheddar Pepper Prepper. I don't have my glasses on. Is that Joy Reid or Schlitzy Pinhead the Circus Freak? Oh my God, I don't know. Judy Grum, she could easily lose 300. Yeah, well, if the Trump economy keeps going, maybe she will. Oh boy, she needs to keep going. She looks like Jabba the Hutt. Oh my goodness, you guys are ruthless, but I love it. I'm here for it. You guys are awesome. I'm here for you. Let's go with the show. What else have we got now? Oh, I just love Doge so much. It's like my favorite thing to report on. And I told you guys this. Wait, let's take a look. We got a live shot of the White House. What's going on? There it is. There is the White House. This is an actual live shot. The president working inside that building. The people's house has been restored to the people. Amen. Okay. Now, I've been talking about Doge when I heard it was going to be created, and I knew it was going to ruffle some feathers. But I'm here for it, and we're going to keep reporting on it. So let's just get this party started, right? Are you ready for the Doge party? Because I am. I'm so ready for this. The establishment never expected this alliance. Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, and President Trump, President of the United States, working together to expose what might be the biggest government spending scandal in American history. Well, tonight we have exclusive details about how Doge engineers, I like to call them the Doge agents, uncovered billions of your tax dollars being funneled into some of the most absurd projects you've ever heard of. $20 million for Sesame Street in Iraq. That's just the beginning. We've got the internal documents, whistleblower testimony, and shocking evidence of where your money really went. And wait until you hear about which prominent politicians are trying to shut this investigation down. And speaking of government waste, isn't it time we talked about wasted potential? While bureaucrats throw away billions of your tax dollars, Americans are wasting their own potential by using inferior collagen products. Just like Doge exposed government inefficiency, studies have exposed how most collagen supplements fail to deliver results. That's why this multi-collagen formula I trust. It's available at healthwithgary.com. It's scientifically proven to work, unlike those wasteful government programs. Fight back against aging and waste. Visit healthwithgary.com and get 51% off during the special promotion. That's healthwithgary.com. Okay, so we do have, before we get into this, we have a lesson from Professor Elon Musk. This is from the Enememes account on X. Of course, I have to put forward this disclaimer that this is not, in fact, a real thing that happened. This is AI, but it's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. This is today's lesson of Fofenomics, brought to you by Professor Elon Musk.
My corner. Hello, X. Today we are going to talk about how you can find out and how much we can find out and what it takes to get there. So as you can see, the Democrats are at max fuck around levels here. This ultimately results in max find out levels. They must be retarded. As of late, we have been seeing max fuck around levels by AOC and other D employees. It appears that they really want to find out. Not such a good idea with enemies in my corner.
Yes, they are finding out, and Doge derangement syndrome is in full effect. Oh my goodness, you can see them. Look at them all. They are all freaking out all over Washington. They can't get enough, but you know what? Elon Musk is going to celebrate it. We're going to celebrate it because the tears taste so good. Here we have Charlie Kirk. Elon Musk has successfully hacked the Matrix. His high IQ team at Doge is a major threat to the establishment. This is from the Charlie Kirk Show.
Or K-Maru. Those of you that watch Star Trek
In Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, there is a fictional training exercise called Kobayashi Maru, or K-Maru. In this, it was an exercise designed to test a cadet's character and ability to stay in control under pressure. The potential cadet must decide whether or not to try and rescue the damaged Kobayashi Maru ship or leave it destroyed. If a cadet tries to rescue the ship, they'll face an insurmountable enemy force. The exercise is intended to help cadets learn to deal with the emotional toll of defeat. Now, there's only one individual, and of course, this fictional story in Star Trek II, Wrath of Khan, that was ever able to beat the Kobayashi Maru.
Okay, remember Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan? I remember watching it as a kid. Something tells me, I don't even think Charlie Kirk was born when that came out. I don't know. But, you know, I remember that scene when that thing went into the ear. Oh my goodness, I remember that as a kid. It was so scary. Oh, I always imagine like earwigs when I was a kid, like they're doing that to me and getting into my brain. Oh, goodness, I will never forget that. Oh, man. Sorry, I digress, but it just, he's talking about the Wrath of Khan, and that's the first thing that came to my mind. Okay, let's continue.
And it was Captain James Tiberius Kirk, no relation, who was the only one ever to beat the exercise. And how did he do it? By hacking the simulation. What Elon Musk has done successfully via Doge is he has hacked the Matrix. He won a set-piece battle that was impossible, and the bad guys knew it. So the system had to be completely reprogrammed to make success possible. Reject the premise and hack the Matrix. Front page of Politico.com, quote, "They've done their homework. The unexpected power of Musk's digital assault on Washington. If the rules are rigged, change the rules." Elon Musk's campaign to cut Washington bureaucracy is aiming at a very specific, very sensitive digital power center, the federal IT infrastructure. Musk and his allies have gained access to the Treasury Department's payment systems. They've commandeered enough control of OPM to send out a mass email offering to federal employees, unnamed federal officials tell the Washington Post. Anna Lewis, who is the former director of the Technology Transformation Services under GSA, says, quote, "Elon's team, they've done their homework, going where the majority of the volume of government transaction data is very strategic." Elon Musk has rejected the rules. Instead of playing the game of the Kobayashi Maru, he went and changed the rules and hacked the Matrix. We're going after the computers. Give us the passwords. What Elon has done is he has consolidated technological control for the president, by the way, as his emissary, as his ambassador, as his representative, as his special government employee, to say, we can now send mass emails to the entire federal government. Did you know prior to Elon Musk showing up and doing this, there was no way to be able to email everyone at .gov?
No, I didn't know that. And now President Trump, he's got the power. Side note, I looked it up. Charlie Kirk was born on October 14th, 1993. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan was released in theaters June 4th, 1982. Just a little sidebar there. But we respect the analogy, Charlie. Okay.
There is no federal directory of all the employees. There is no way to be able to find out who does what and where the payment systems are. Get me the passwords and you control the federal government. And the rock stars he is bringing in are these young superstars. Here's one of them, Cut 91, who's being smeared by the media as, oh, these 19-year-olds. These 19-year-olds are smarter than the entire combined intelligence of the U.S. Senate if you exclude Mike Lee and Rand Paul. And there's a couple other great ones, too. We should be grateful that these young geniuses are giving us a minute of their time. Instead, they're being smeared, they're being attacked, and they better be careful, by the way. This could be, I'm telling you, this could be a Covington Kid situation 2.0. These are not private. These are not public figures. These are private actors that are being attacked every day by the media. This could be Nick Sandmann 2.0. Play cut 91.
And one day I was just listening to a podcast back in March. It was with Nat Friedman. He just kind of got on the podcast, explained like there are these burnt up scrolls that were buried in the Pompeii eruption. No one knows how to read them, but some professors have created CT scans of these scrolls, and they uploaded the data on the internet as a competition to see who could find writing inside of these scrolls. I just went home from work that day at the end of the day, and I've been working on it evenings and weekends ever since. Late one Saturday night, I was sitting at a party at a friend's house in Omaha, and I get a text from another person on the challenge team, and he says, "Hey, I've just uploaded this new kind of piece of the scroll. You should take a look at it." I remotely accessed my computer. I type into it like, "Please run the algorithm on this new piece of scroll," and then I just kind of started. I pull out my phone again, just nonchalantly, like, "Hey, I wonder how that went." And there are 3 Greek letters on the screen, the letters I'd never seen before. It was really cool because it's like, oh my goodness, like we actually detected new writing in the scrolls using AI. And that was the moment I realized, like, this is actually going to work. Like, we're probably going to read the scrolls.
That is one of the young men that Elon has brought into the government. High IQ.
That warms my heart, man. That warms my heart. But of course, the left are straight up attacking this young man. We're learning this now. Elon Musk wants to put the U.S. Treasury spending on the blockchain, which is a massive win for crypto. We'll see how that pans out. That means that it would be transparent. Elon Musk proposes putting U.S. Treasury on blockchain for full spending transparency. Citizens could track taxpayer dollars in real time. Oh, yes, make it so. Make it so. And here we have Elon Musk just 24 hours ago reposting this young lady.
Someone keep waiting and waiting and waiting for Democrats to start fucking redeeming themselves, and every single time I turn around they make it fucking worse. Just 100%, no turnabout rate, nothing. It is just going downhill for the Democrats, dude. Can you please tell me, if someone, right, robbed a fucking bank, okay, let's talk about a hypothetical before we get into the real shit real quick. If someone robbed a bank, someone watched the security footage, saw who robbed the bank, told you who robbed the bank, you caught who robbed the bank, are you going to be mad at the person that robbed the fucking bank or the person that told you were being robbed? Okay, that's what's going on with Elon Musk right now. For those of you that don't understand, okay, Elon Musk was hired for the Department of Government Efficiency. What does the Department of Government Efficiency do? What is its main number one goal? To make sure that our government is running efficiently, dumbasses. And here you are literally trying to shoot the fucking messenger because he is showing you that a lot of our money is being wasted on shit that is not needed. What type of...
Oh, man, people are excited. I'm excited. Here's a post. Looks like this is from the press room at the White House, where I will soon have credentials to attend. And Tess Dummy makes it a point that nobody is asking what Trump's favorite flavor ice cream is.
Who advised the president on the legality of telling government agencies that they don't have to spend money that was already appropriated by Congress?
Well, as the OMB memo states, this is certainly within the confines of the law. So White House counsel's office believes that this is within the president's power to do it, and therefore he's doing it.
Okay, so they disagree with lawmakers who say that they don't have the power to freeze this fund.
Again, I would point you to the language in the memo that clearly states this is within the law.
And all that happened on Friday night, the administration fired several inspectors general without giving Congress the 30-day legally required notification that they were being fired. I think only 2 were left at DHS and the DOJ. And then yesterday we saw several prosecutors, I believe 12, fired from the Justice Department who worked on the investigations into the president. As you know, they are career prosecutors, therefore they are afforded civil service protections. How is the administration deciding which laws to follow and which ones to ignore?
So it is the belief of this White House and the White House counsel's office that the president was within his executive authority to do that. He is the executive of the executive branch, and therefore he has the power to fire anyone within the executive branch that he wishes to. There's also a case that went before the Supreme Court in 2020, Scala Law LLC versus the Customs, Bureau Protection. I would advise you to look at that case, and that's the legality that this White House is resting on.
So you're confident that if they bring lawsuits against you, the prosecutors who were fired, that they will succeed?
We will win in court.
And
yes.
Did he personally direct this, given they worked on the classified documents investigation and the election interference investigation?
This was a memo that went out by the Presidential Personnel Office, and the president is the leader of this White House. So yes.
Yes, he is. Get used to it, Caitlin Collins. Get used to it. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. Tim Pool posting this 24 hours ago. The White House just nuked Politico's weird taxpayer-funded subscriptions. The Department of Energy has $400,000 in subscriptions for 172 people for 1 year, which is absolutely insane. Let's listen.
Comment on that. USAID has gotten a lot of attention the last couple of days with some of these bizarre things that we've been, taxpayers have been funding. Now it looks like there are a couple media outlets that have been dragged into this conversation as far as USAID funding as well. Does the president have any comment on that?
So upon coming out here to the briefing room, I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room. And I can confirm that the more than $8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening. The Doge team is working on canceling those payments now. Again, this is a whole of government effort to ensure that we are going line by line when it comes to the federal government's books. And this president and his team are making decisions across the board on, do these receipts serve the interests of the American people? Is this a good use of the American taxpayers' money? If it is not, that funding will no longer be sent abroad, and American taxpayers will see.
Oh, baby, let's go. Oh, my goodness. The news is just getting better and better by the day. But of course, we have Elon derangement syndrome, which is taking root in Washington, D.C. If you all recall, Trump derangement syndrome. Well, now that was, TDS. Now we have EDS.
Elon Musk. 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 Elon.
You get the point, right? Oh, man. Okay. Oh, now we have this. Representative Summer Lee, speaking of Elon derangement syndrome, she posts 24 hours ago, we moved to subpoena Elon Musk, an unelected billionaire with massive conflicts of interest, a personal vendetta, and access to our most sensitive financial systems, but Republicans blocked it. See, they are going to attack Elon Musk just as hard as they attacked Donald Trump in his first administration and the following 4 years afterwards. Elon Musk is their new attack vector.
Barons are I am afraid that we are witnessing the biggest con in real time.
Wow.
Our federal government is being fleeced by hand.
I would say the biggest con in real time was when they said that Joe Biden was sharp as a tack day in and day out. That was the biggest con. And now they're complaining that someone's actually reviewing every payment the government makes to clean it up on behalf of the American people. Oh, okay, let's listen.
Full of billionaires at the expense of everyday people. They're what we call unelected billionaire oligarchs, and they are not trying to right-size the government. They're not trying to make things more efficient or improve services.
What?
They want to eliminate their competition and grow their private coffers. The collective net worth of the president's cabinet is over $460 billion. That is unprecedented in our country's history, even counting the days of the robber barons, or when the only folks who could serve in government were landowning wealthy white men.
Oh, come on.
This isn't just government by the top 1%. It is government by the top 0.0001%. And these aren't just disinterested outsiders who are benevolent volunteers coming in to help us situate our government, right? These are people who have conflict of interests. They have financial stakes. They are even tied to litigation against the very agencies that they have been tasked to lead. Musk alone has nearly 100 government contracts across 17 federal agencies that total $3 billion. By all accounts, Musk is now running rampant through our federal agencies, accountable to no one, and doing what he pleases with federal systems and data with no transparency and no oversight. It's still unclear if he has security clearance or if he's passed a background check. He certainly hasn't filed any financial disclosures. This is absolutely outrageous, and Americans are rightfully mad. This is the Committee on Oversight, one of the most important committees, particularly in this era, yet Republicans did not bring Elon Musk, the private citizen, given access to all other private citizens' data, and the one leading all of this chaos. And just this morning, they blocked our efforts to bring him in.
Good. I mean, he's just White House tech support, so stop crying, okay? You're just worried that your slush fund's getting exposed, and it is. Government fraud, rabbit hole posting, government fraud and waste broken down by department. The Treasury is estimated to have somewhere around 23.87% of its budget being used in fraudulent and wasteful fashion. Okay, so Treasury Department, Labor, Veterans Affairs, Agriculture, Health and Human Services, Education, Defense, Small Business Administration, Housing, Urban Development, Homeland Security, Social Security Administration, and Transportation. That is how much waste that they have already uncovered with Doge, and it is only going to get cut. Here is Elon Musk posting this. He just says, wow, payment errors by program. From the article, $186 billion, 79% of such errors were concentrated in five program areas: Medicare, Medicaid, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, Earned Income Tax Credit, Paycheck Protection Program, Loan Forgiveness. Payment errors. Holy cow. $186 billion found in just payment errors alone. I mean, I think they're going to be able to get to that $2 trillion mark very, very soon. Robbie Starbuck pointing out, what I find really odd about Democrats trying to fearmonger about Elon and Doge getting access to everyone's Social Security numbers, the fact that all of our Social Security numbers already got leaked in 2024 when Biden was in office via the National Public Data Hack. Yep. Here's the independent headline. Not to alarm you, but your Social Security number is already leaked. Thanks, Joe Biden. And now we're finding this just 8 hours ago. Federal judge has limited Doge access to sensitive Treasury Department payment system records. What are they hiding? Chuck Calesto is pointing that out. I'm sure they're going to find a way around that. Oh, my goodness. We will not shut up. Yeah, well, no one's listening. Democrats ramp up their protests against Elon Musk on Capitol Hill, hurling expletives and insults at the billionaire as Doge aims to clean up government waste at USAID and other federal agencies. They can scream and cry all they want. Here we have more Mike Engelman. I certainly appreciate what Elon Musk is doing with Doge and exposing the corruption like USAID. This is just the tip of the iceberg. His willingness to take the heat for doing so for free takes courage and strength, yet keeps the pressure off Trump. You know, I thought about that for a second when I heard them all going, Elon Musk, Elon Musk, Elon Musk. The words that they weren't saying were Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. Really interesting how they're all focusing on Elon, but they're not focusing on Donald. I think that they're going to try and get Elon out from that administration by any means necessary. I don't believe they'll be successful. Also, this Doge entering NOAA, raising Democrat fears it will be dismantled. So we'll find out more about that. Elon Musk is exposing the left's idiotic pet project wasting billions of America's tax dollars. It's a beautiful thing to watch. And here's CNN being forced to report it.
In months and months, the American people delivered President Trump a very clear mandate to root out waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. And, let me tell you, we have been talking about bringing Elon Musk in for months and months and months now. I think my colleagues on the other side of the aisle like to act as if this is something novel, as if this is something that's unexpected. This is part of the Trump mandate, getting rid of wasteful spending. I think that my colleagues on the other side of the aisle seem not to be upset about our tax dollars going to idiotic projects, particularly within USAID, but the fact that all of this waste is finally being exposed, and Elon Musk is playing a key role in that. The American people...
Let's go. Keep exposing it. Keep exposing it. Here we have the press secretary just 6 hours ago talking about going through the federal government line by line and making this government more efficient.
56% going through the federal government line by line and making this government more efficient is one of those priorities and one of those promises that President Trump made. And as you just cited, John, 56% of Americans support freezing foreign aid. And I read a fascinating article in the Washington Post today. They interviewed voters in Pennsylvania, and all of them said that they support President Trump and Elon Musk's efforts to make this government more efficient. What President Trump and Elon Musk and this entire administration is trying to do is make our bloated bureaucracy here in Washington run like a profitable business. And every agency has been tasked with going line by line and ensuring that the American taxpayers' money is aligned with the American people's interests. It's a common sense solution to fixing a decades-old problem of bloated bureaucracy, waste, fraud, and abuse. And the vast majority of Americans support it. So the Democrats can hoot and holler all they want. This White House will stay committed to delivering on President Trump's priorities and being good stewards of the hardworking American people's tax dollars.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Oh, here's Joe Rogan. We're getting a chance to see what happens when you take a business approach to government in the White House.
Massive amounts of, what's fascinating right now is we're getting a chance to see what happens when you take a business approach to the government in the White House. We're seeing right now with this whole USAID thing where they're uncovering massive amounts of corruption and waste and just a lot of weird shady shit with NGOs and where an enormous amount of money is going. And you're seeing someone look at this thing that is incredibly efficient almost by design. And instead of saying well, this is just how it is, and this is how these politicians get funded, so let's just keep this thing going the same way it is and make some incremental changes to try to make people happy so we still get elected. Instead of that, you're seeing a politician, a president who's coming in who can't get reelected, so he's just going ham. And he's just cleaning out everything. And people are freaking out. The same people that say we need radical change. We need radical change. We've got corruption. We need radical change. Okay, well, here's your radical change. We don't need this. But you do. The government does. They need oversight. And they haven't had that. And because of that, you're seeing this not just waste. You could call it waste, but it's deeper. It's deeper than waste. It's corruption. And you're seeing that corruption get weeded out. I am hoping that this is successful and that it yields a benefit to the American people, to the working class people, to everybody, where they recognize hey, we can't just be spending all our fucking tax money on nonsense. And it all should be done with a real clear understanding of getting results. If that happens and that idea spreads across the country, because ideas spread and people change their minds. And, and sometimes it happens. One guy in the neighborhood will go, you know what, fuck this, I'm fed up. And then everybody's like, I've been kind of thinking that too. I just didn't want to say it. And then people start talking, and then it's not a scary thing to discuss anymore.
And that's what we're doing here. We are spreading ideas. Here is, really? Representative Jim McGovern is alleging from the House floor that Elon Musk and his Doge team are committing crimes. Okay. This is how it begins.
Home, Mr. Speaker, it's being reported that Elon Musk has sent his creepy minions to illegally install a private server that is stealing people's information. They are using it to skirt laws about sensitive and possibly even classified information, giving them access to people's social security numbers, home addresses, and more. What is happening is a crime, plain and simple. It's a crime. The Privacy Act of 1974, the Federal Information Security Management Act of 2002, Computer Fraud and Abuse Act, as well as provisions of the Internal Revenue Code. Elon says it's a crime to expose who he has put in charge of the federal government. No, Elon, no. It is a crime to hide that from the American people. And I, for one, am not going to stand by while he gets his grubby little billionaire hands all over our parents' and grandparents' Social Security checks. And he better believe that he's going to be held accountable for all of this. The truth is coming out. He is stealing from the American people, and we are not going to let him do it. Mr. Speaker.
This is how it begins, folks. They start to allege crimes. They're going to try to indict him. Oh, wow. Okay, here is more insanity. Doge exposed U.S. government has been throwing away Social Security money on gender programs. Senator Tommy Tuberville telling the truth.
Dead broke. This is all a scam. I mean, we got people that's getting ready to retire that's going to try to live off $2,000 to $3,000. Impossible. It's impossible. Because what happens, it comes up here, we spend it. We're $35 trillion in debt. We don't have any money. We're dead broke. And then taxpayers have $2 trillion in credit card debt. We are in huge trouble. And this body, we had better start figuring that out, because we're going to have a run on this city here soon, and there's going to be about 150 million people coming up here saying, where's our damn money that we paid in? I could have put my Social Security money 40 years in tax in the market and probably be worth 8 to 10 million today. But the federal government wasted it. So I'll get off my horse there. But it's good that we have this, because we got, I get a little pension check from education. I was part of a union. It's not going to help people. People are going to have to continue to work longer and longer. Am I right, Ms. Gender? Can you say something about Social Security and it being taxed for some reason? We're taxing people for the second time on Social Security that they put into an account.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out when Social Security was first founded, those who established it, it was started out as a 2% tax, and they said this will never take more than 6% of your income. Today, it takes 12.4%. And depending on whether you go with CBO or Social Security trustees, it needs to take between 15.8 and 17.5%. So we're talking about thousands of dollars more per year. It also was actually only originally recommended that the tax be up to $66,000, equivalent in today's dollars of earnings. But over time, it has expanded massively, and the money has been spent every year. So whereas everybody thinks this money's been set aside for me, no, for the past 13 years, every dollar that has gone out of workers' paychecks has gone immediately to pay promised benefits. And that's what happens when you have a system that enables those in charge of it to spend the money in the immediate term and leave the buck to the next generation that's coming.
Oh, yeah. But that party is coming to an end. That's what Elon Musk is exposing. Here we have this. This is just 8 hours ago. Representative Greg Caesar holding a press conference to fire Elon Musk.
Fire. I'm Greg Caesar. I'm proud to be chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus, and today we're here to say with one voice, fire Elon Musk. An unelected, unaccountable billionaire now has seemingly unlimited powers over Americans' private data and over Americans' taxpayer dollars. It seems every hour brings more news about a new threat Elon Musk poses to working people, a new way that Elon Musk wants to take your hard-earned money and keep it for himself. Just yesterday, Musk threatened to go after Medicare and Medicaid. Just yesterday, we also learned that Head Start programs serving 20,000 young students are locked out of their federal funding by Elon Musk. To be clear, that means that you have a billionaire, the richest person on earth, willing to take away your health care, willing to take away kids' lunches and meals, willing to take away pre-K, just so that he can finance a tax break for himself and his billionaire buddies. And just last night, Elon Musk came out and we found out that he's interfering with air traffic control. When Musk took over Twitter, he repeatedly crashed that platform. It's not a big deal if your app doesn't load one day, but it is a huge deal if you don't know if your plane is going to crash or not.
Wow, listen to the fear-mongering coming from these guys.
Don't fight back. Elon Musk will take dollars away from our public schools, away from our healthcare, away from Social Security, away from our own safety systems, and use those dollars to line his own pockets.
Oh, wow. You hear what they're alleging? This is out of control. Out of control. Well, here is one person who is spot on.
That Elon Musk has. So we're still mad about the grocery prices that didn't come down, even though Trump has only been in office for a couple weeks. And now we're mad that Elon Musk has access to the treasury payments. But what I want to know is, why aren't we mad about the fact that we've been auto-paying anybody that asks for money, even if it's a terrorist group? You guys are constantly saying that we're the uneducated side, but why aren't you guys questioning the fact that the highest-ranking treasury official would rather resign than agree to an audit? We're so uneducated, but why aren't you guys putting two and two together about why they want to sue for Elon having access to the treasury payments while his team, Doge, is exposing all the bullshit that our money is being spent on? You guys are still pushing grocery prices in our face, but why aren't you guys upset over the $4 million that we spend yearly to prove whether duck quacks echo or not? Or why aren't you guys upset over the fact that we spend $5 million a year on sandwich standards? I live in New York. Do you really think that I want my money going towards a fucking pigeon sculpture while they're shitting on everything? And that's not even scratching the surface of where our money is going. Apparently, there's 1,200 of these type of programs. You mean to tell me that our government has been spending money on things that have long expired? One example being from 1998, and you guys are not mad about that? You guys are still bitching about grocery prices, and you're bitching about the fact that Elon Musk is about to stop our money from being spent on bullshit programs that we can now argue is money laundering. You guys can bitch that I'm spreading conspiracy all you want to, but there's no fucking way that I'm going to be okay with the fact that there's a cloud watching program that my money goes towards.
Let's go, baby. Clean it up. Clean it up. We've got more. Let's continue. Holy cow. I think we've got one more we have to get to here. Oh, this is just so great, though, to witness all this happening. And I think they're going to try to bring him up on some kind of indictment, some charges. But I think since we now know that Reagan's portrait is in the Oval Office again, let's take a flashback to this moment of President Reagan.
Machine. You know, sometimes the big spenders in Congress talk as if all that money they spend just kind of magically appears on their doorstep, a gift from the Internal Revenue Service. They talk as if spending were all giving and no taking. Well, there is no magic money machine. Every dollar the government spends comes out of your pockets. Every dollar the government gives to someone has to first be taken away from someone else. So it's our moral duty to make sure that we can justify every one of your tax dollars, that we spend them wisely and carefully, and just as important, fairly. Unfortunately, hardly anyone could honestly call federal budgets wise, careful, or fair. Is it fair to ask one small business to help subsidize its competitors? Is it fair to ask workers in the private economy to pay for civil service pensions that are much more generous than the retirement benefits they receive? Is it fair to ask low-income families to help pay for the college education of children from families with incomes as high as $100,000 a year? Is it fair to ask taxpayers to help pay billions for export subsidies to a handful of America's biggest corporations? Well, it isn't fair, and you know it. But that's the law of the land right now, just part of the legacy of 50 years of trying to do good things for all by treating your earnings like government property. The time has come to decide what benefits we can properly expect from the federal government for ourselves, our neighbors, and those in need, and what government can take from us in taxes without making everyone worse off, including those who need our help. The one thing we cannot do is stay on the immoral, dead-end course of deficit spending. You know,
oh man, this one's for the Gipper, my friends. We're going to win this for the Gipper. Oh. The revelations that we've covered tonight about government wasteful spending, just the tip of the iceberg. Elon Musk's Doge team has uncovered a web of corruption that spans continents and involves some of the most powerful people in Washington, from gender programs in Guatemala to pottery classes in Morocco. Your tax dollars have been funding a global circus of waste. But here's what's really keeping DC insiders up at night. What happens when Doge gets full access to the Treasury Department's records? What are they so desperately trying to hide? Drop your predictions in the comments below. What do you think is the biggest scandal yet to be uncovered in this investigation? I cannot wait to read your comments, and I do read them. Stand with truth tellers. Grab your limited edition MagAvengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Linked below. Boom. Win one for the Gipper. Thought that was a nice way to close out that segment. Little flashback there. All right. We've got more news to get to tonight. So much is happening in the world, and I'm going to check in on our super chatters. I think some super chatters came in. I'm not sure. Okay. Michael P. Always trusted news with you, Gary. Thank you for that $10. That was about 40 minutes ago. Useful Idiot dropping $5. Is it me, or does there need to be some sort of committee that's not in Congress that makes the rules for Congress and the Senate because change is needed? I don't know. I think that's where President Trump comes in. Ty Anderson dropping $5, and he says, "Great show like always. Thanks again." Stephanie Len has just become a upgraded the membership. Well, thank you, Stephanie Len. Thank you for that. Dave the Patriot dropping $5. Arrests, or this is all just a circus tent of magic. And checking in on the White House right now. There it is. The president's house, where all the magic is happening. That's a real-time shot of Washington, D.C., a nice new feature we've just implemented for you guys, and it's beautiful to witness. Okay, let's get back at it. We got more news to cover as we continue to dig through the swamp. Ladies and gentlemen, what we're about to show you is beyond shocking. USAID, an agency that was supposed to help people around the world, has been exposed as nothing more than a massive money laundering operation. We have exclusive documents showing how they funneled billions of your tax dollars into a web of fake organizations, shell companies, and radical political agendas. They paid journalists, funded covert operations, and even tried to impeach a sitting president. But tonight we are blowing this whole thing wide open, and the numbers are staggering. The implications are massive, and the people involved, let's just say very powerful people, are lawyering up right now. While the deep state was busy building their corrupt empire through USAID, real Americans are building something else, their strength. And just like President Trump is rebuilding our government's integrity, you need to rebuild your body's strength. That's why I trust the clean premium protein at buildwithgary.com. Look at these guns, right? They tell the story. Unlike USAID's dirty money, this protein is pure, clean, and actually delivers results. So order now and get a free bag of grass-fed protein powder during our special promotion. Fight back against corruption by building your strength at buildwithgary.com. You will find it linked in the description below. Okay, are you guys ready for a shocker? Yeah, I put them on as a shocker. Man, I love My blue blockers. Sorry, I don't know why I did that, but that commercial will never leave me. The Tides Foundation, tied to George Soros. Gunter Eagleman posting this, quote tweeting John Lefevre just 3 hours ago. You paid for this. USAID funneled $27 million to Black Lives Matter through the Tides Foundation. Here is an iconic photograph from the destruction at one of the BLM rallies. Your tax dollars helped pay for that. And we have this, real questions being asked. Now, I want to point out, I believe that this question was pointed at the previous administration, and they were asking about USAID. And this is the previous administration. Now, listen to just how terrified they are at answering the question, because they know what USAID really is. And at least Sam Husseini had the balls to ask the question back then. Well, now we're finally seeing what's going on. The curtain is being pulled back, but I want you to listen carefully to this moment.
I'm happy to. How much money went from USAID to the work at Wuhan and to their collaborator, Ralph Barrick, at the University of North Carolina to collect and make coronaviruses that are weaponized, that are more deadly?
So I, first of all, reject the implicit accusation in that question, and I do not have at my finger. I do not have at my fingertips the particular details of USAID.
Are you saying for certain? Are you saying for certain that no USAID money went to the Wuhan Institute of Virology?
Go ahead.
No, please tell me. Are you stating that no USAID money went?
I am happy to take questions from those in this audience. I'm happy to answer them. I appreciate that they treat every person in this room, including myself, respectfully. I called on you. I'm now calling on someone else. Go ahead.
Me respectfully, please tell me, what are you denying?
Go ahead.
What is your denial? It's a non-denial denial.
Do you see how defensive they are when a question was raised like that? Well, now we're finding out that they did, in fact, fund the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The curtain is pulled back for all to see. Listen to this. This was just published 6 hours ago. USAID paid Hollywood stars to travel to Ukraine. Arch Kennedy posting this allegation that Jean-Claude Van Damme, $1.5 million, Ben Stiller, $4 million, Sean Penn, $5 million, Orlando Bloom, $8 million, Angelina Jolie, $20 million. Now, these are allegations that are being made here. I want to make it clear. So that's what we're learning. E-News. This is a still shot from E-News, $20 million. Man, that's pretty damning. Here we have two. Okay, this is really interesting, because this was, as we're learning all these things about USAID, people have been sounding the alarm about this organization for the longest time. One of those people, this was posted by the Vigilant Fox, August 14th of 2023. It is an interview with RFK Jr. and Tucker Carlson. Listen carefully to RFK break it down about how USAID covertly funded the unrest in Ukraine.
It is overthrown Victorian 2014. There are riots it's called the Maidan Rebellion in Ukraine, which we're not told that we are financing those riots. The newspapers never told us, our government never told us. USAID, which is the CIA front, put $5 billion into funding those riots. Those riots lead to a coup d'etat against the first democratically elected government of the Ukraine. It was a government that refused to choose sides and to say, we're going to be on the side of the West. So we wanted them out. A month before that government is overthrown, Victoria Nuland, who's the part of the centerpiece of the neocon ideology and who is now a high-level official in the State Department, has a secret call with the U.S. ambassador, which is tape recorded and is now public, which anybody can go and look up, where she is picking the new cabinet for the Ukraine, which is which is a U.S. Western cabinet. So they're picking the new government a month before the old government is overthrown.
Is that how democracy? Is that democracy when Victoria Nuland picks her government?
Well, that's the point. Is USAID doesn't really do. And the CIA don't do democracy. The CIA has overthrown, I think, 83 governments between 1947 and 1997. That's a third of the governments on Earth, and most of them were democracies. Oh, it doesn't do democracy. It does coup d'etats.
Wow. So that was what they were talking about back in August of 2023. Vigilant Fox posting that. Arch Kennedy also posting this. This is why the elites in both parties fear and dislike Trump. Donald Trump posted this on Truth Social. Looks like billions of dollars have been stolen at USAID and other agencies, much of it going to the fake news media as a payoff for creating good stories about the Democrats' left-wing rag known as Politico. Seems to have received $8 million. Did the New York Times receive money? Who else did? This could be the biggest scandal of them all. Perhaps the biggest in the history. Democrats can't hide from this one. Too big, too dirty. Oh, do you see what's happening here? We're finding out where all the money is going. And USAID right at the heart of it all. Here, this was 24 hours ago. Representative Nancy Mace. Listen to what she has to say about USAID.
USAID awarded $2 million to strengthen trans-led organizations to deliver gender-affirming health care in Guatemala. So to each of you this morning, does this advance the interests of American citizens paying for trannies in Guatemala to the tune of $2 million? Yes or no? Governor?
I have no position.
Of course you don't. Okay, USAID awarded over $750,000 to fund alleviating loneliness among migrant garment workers in India. Does this advance America's interests, Governor? No.
No. I have no position.
USAID awarded $1.5 million for providing a gender-sensitive response to migration at the Venezuelan border. Does this advance America's interests, Governor? No.
No, I have no position.
Does this advance the interests? Okay, so USAID awarded $4.3 million on October 1st, 2023 to a group to fund comprehensive health services for men having sex with other men in South Africa. Does this advance the interests of American citizens, Governor? No.
No, I have no position.
I bet you don't. Okay. USAID awarded $1.5 million to advance diversity, equity, and inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business communities by promoting economic empowerment and opportunity for LGBTQI plus people in Serbia. Does this advance America's interests? No.
No. Nope.
You have no idea, right? Okay.
Oh, man, Nancy Mace just ripping the curtain right down in that committee. Here is, we got some Joe Rogan and Brett Weinstein on the USAID revelations. We were always wondering, why is the national debt so high? Why is our deficit so insane? Well, this is it.
Elon's this USAID thing that's going on, Mike Benz has been on that like a pit bull, and I've been following him on X, and he's going to come back on here and kind of explain everything. But he explained it the last time he was here, and I don't think I really grasped it until Elon's 6 wizards. He brought in some young wizards to go in there and go over the books, and they are just finding crazy shit. It's great, and it's so interesting. I was listening to a left-wing podcast today. I like to mix it up. I listen to all kinds of different stuff, and it was like I was listening to a different world. Like, they weren't even talking about all of this corruption and all this obvious buying of influence. Instead, they were talking about aid overseas and how people are going to starve. And it's
mind-boggling, and there's also
I have to say, I'm upset at the general pattern of a failure to recognize how right those of us who hypothesized that there was a racket that had overtaken our entire governance structure, we turn out to be absolutely right about this, and no one's going to mention it. That's mind-blowing.
It's very strange that the media is ignoring it, especially the left-wing media. It's just too big of a win for the right, and so they're just ignoring it. And then they're just highlighting the good things that USAID did, which I'm sure that probably did. Probably had to do some good things to like at least justify its existence
as a cover story. I'm not even sure. Maybe it doesn't change anything. Obviously, this was a mechanism used to funnel money to all sorts of things that we didn't vote on, that don't make sense in light of our constitutional structure. And I obviously have concerns like everybody else about where this train takes us, but seeing that structure broken up it's a huge relief.
They gave...
Well, you know what? I am on that train all the way to the station, baby. Let's go. Here we have Trump. Mila Joy posting this 24 hours ago. Trump called for an investigation to find out who in the government has been getting kickbacks from USAID. For instance, AOC has been in Congress for 6 years. She makes $174,000 a year, and she's worth $30 million. The only way that happens is by kickbacks. Now, there's a reader note on this. As of her financial disclosure in 2023, AOC has a net worth of at most $45,000. They're calling this a baseless claim that her net worth is $29 million or $30 million in order to imply wrongdoing has been made before on social media and repeatedly debunked. So we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. 6,000, Clayton Morris posting this, 6,000 journalists and 700 newsrooms received USAID money. It's a wonder all of them parrot the same news. You've seen this before.
I am Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities, Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and false
news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming. You hear this? I mean, just this clip alone, they're pushing back against fake news being spread on social media, yet they're all parroting the exact same thing because they're the ones parroting all the fake news. And then USAID sending them all kinds of money. Here we have, okay, check this out. Buckle up, friends. Here it is. Dom Lucier, exclusive, recovered footage of the Iraqi Sesame Street show. I knew this was going to surface. When we heard about it, somebody would dig it up. Here it is. The Iraqi Sesame Street show that USAID paid $20 million for. Okay.
نعمان هل أنت في الداخل؟ يمكنك الخروج الآن فقط. يا سلام!
Yeah, so how does that advance American interests? I don't know. Here's Donald Trump Jr. just 10 hours ago. USAID is nothing more than a corrupt slush fund for Democrats. No more. And he is posting a screenshot of his father's post that we just read to you on Truth Social. Here's another one. Elon Musk just 9 hours ago. Why should American taxpayer dollars fund the British Broadcasting Corporation? Elon Musk calling it insane, and I agree. Mario Nafal pointing out the BBC's unhappy about U.S. government funding getting cut. Our statement on USAID funding. Mario Nafal says the BBC, through its international charity arm, BBC Media Action, has expressed dissatisfaction by the U.S. government to pause funding. The impact of this pause, which affected approximately 8% of their income for the fiscal year 23-24, left them quite baffled. Meanwhile, U.S. citizens are baffled themselves. Wait, we were paying for the BBC? Yeah, who knew? Well, now we know. This is just amazing. All these things we're discovering now, that Donald Trump is back in power, Elon Musk pulling the curtain back. I mean, these stories are going to continue. Dan Bongino, 12 hours ago, make no mistake, the Dems are freaking out over Elon and the USAID racket because this has been a blank checkbook for them for years to fund far-left ideological groups and agendas. They'll die on this hill because everything the left does is a scam, a lie, and a grift. Nothing is genuine. Nothing. Trump and Elon are opening the far left kimono, and people are horrified at what they are seeing. Here's Caroline Levitt adding to the list, the long list of waste that's been found at USAID. Here she is.
Combat disinformation. And I would just say a strong message to Democrats who are out there pretending to be outraged about the long list of crap that this administration is cutting, federal waste and funding, like $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq, $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I could go on, and I'm happy to provide this list to every single one of you. Democrats are outraged that the American people want to be, they want their taxpayers going to good uses, not stuff like this. But then they're very quiet about the fact that there are still North Carolinians and people in California who have lost everything. And in the last 4 years, this federal government did nothing to help them. This president will continue to put Americans first. And I think the successes of this week so far speak to that. And it's only Wednesday. So
well, let's keep going, baby. Let's keep this train rolling along. Okay, we are not done yet. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so this here's more from Joe Rogan breaking down some of the expenses. Okay, let's listen.
20 million. Read off some of the things that this guy Kennecoda the Great on Twitter listed, and this is off the Jesse Waters show. USAID. $20 million for Iraqi Sesame Street, $2 million for Moroccan pottery classes, $11 million to tell Vietnam to stop burning trash, $27 million to give gift bags to illegals, $27 million. $330 million to help Afghanis grow crops. Crops. I wonder what those crops are. What's their biggest crop, Brett?
It's going to be the poppy seeds for bagels, I'm thinking.
$200 million on an unused Afghani dam, $250 million on an unused Afghani road. This is wild.
Are you guys pulling your hair out yet? I just can't believe. I mean, we always knew there was just crazy spending going on in government, but now we see it in black and white. Elon Musk, 24 hours ago, it's not just Politico. The Associated Press has been raking in millions of dollars in government money for years. Elon Musk says, not for long. This is obviously a huge waste of taxpayer money. And he was, quote, tweeting Kyle Becker. Here are the receipts, folks. The Associated Press right there. Total awarded amount, $619,000 from USAID. Holy cow. The receipts tell the story, and the American people are finally seeing it. Okay, here's more. This is from WikiLeaks. USAID funding over 6,200 journalists across 707 media outlets, 279 media NGOs, including 9 out of 10 media outlets in Ukraine. Wow. The checkbook has been found. This guy calls it the devil's checkbook. Jesse James, quote, tweeting Donald Trump. Here we have now Democrats saying the quiet part out loud and admitting to crimes.
Freedom fighters.
Want to see a Democrat say the quiet part out loud about USAID and admit they were conducting illegal activity?
It supports freedom fighters everywhere in this world.
That is a crime. That is absolutely a fucking crime. It's also not something USAID is authorized to do. They are not authorized to fund opposition to other nations. In fact, nobody is, because it's fucking illegal. Now, it's something we get accused of doing all the time, and the CIA pretends we don't, but we do. At least the CIA pretends we don't do that. They don't stand out there and give a speech and talk to the people and say, hey, they're stopping us from doing this illegal thing. That alone is good enough reason to shut down USAID. Thank you for saying the quiet part out loud, Senator.
That is the older millennial. I love that guy. He's always got a good take. Okay, here we have, this is Senator Cynthia Loomis, Town Hall, 7 hours ago, posting that she's exposing the rot, waste, and abuse that has completely infected USAID grants.
And here are some of the ways the last administration have wasted your money. More than $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. And just whose disinformation is it? I think that's probably in the eye of the beholder. $20 million for a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. $25 million for Deloitte to promote green transportation in the country of Georgia. Nearly $8 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid, quote, binary gendered language. Binary gendered language in Sri Lanka? You've got to be kidding me. $5 million to EcoHealth Alliance, one of the key NGOs, non-government organizations, funding bat virus research at the Wuhan lab. $20 million for a group related, by the way, to a key player in the Russiagate impeachment hoax. $1.5 million to rebuild the Cuban media ecosystem. $1.5 million on DEI programs in Serbia. Diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in Serbia. Mr. President, I could probably go on for another hour. Here are some of the ways.
Oh, man, there's more. There is even more. We've got this. Michael Schellenberger telling Jesse Waters that USAID and the CIA are linked to Donald Trump's impeachment.
Straight Trump. You have this new piece on Substack that the USAID and the CIA helped orchestrate Trump's impeachment.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse, it's a crazy story. I mean, you might forget that, the House of Representatives impeached President Trump in December of 2019. Many people may not remember that it was a CIA analyst who was left over from the Obama White House who wrote the memo that led to the impeachment. It was all based on hearsay. The person had not actually been in the room with Trump. Nonetheless, this memo that he wrote relied heavily on a report done by an organization funded by USAID. In fact, its initial founding funding, I mean, now it's tens of millions of dollars, had gone into this group called the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, a name that's not very memorable, OCCRP, but it was basically created as an extension of the State Department and then of USAID. And as you know, Jesse, this is very serious to be involved in an effort to do regime change at home, as we've been discovering as the files have come out with what Elon Musk has been doing. We know that USAID was really about regime change abroad. It was a kind of public-facing part, regime change operation like CIA, but not covert, more overt. Well, now you see a similar blowback, just like they did censorship abroad and brought censorship tools back home. They were doing this sort of thing abroad, creating a predicate essentially for Trump's impeachment. So I think it's just one of many revelations that we'll see coming out in the next few weeks.
USAID was involved in regime change abroad and here at home. Oh, my goodness. Very interesting. If you want to read.
Yeah. Oh, I think we've got we just uncovered some more footage from Sesame Street in Iraq.
اهلا وسهلا فيكم. خلينا نقول لكم على الهواء في الابجديه. يلا خلينا نبدا.
Oh my goodness. That was posted by Libs of TikTok just 22 hours ago. Walter Kurt. Oh my goodness. It was the one who posted it originally. Holy cow. Oh, cat turd posted. I'm still in shock. Is that even real? 7 hours ago, Democrats will all vote no on eliminating their criminal tax thief scam. Legislation has been proposed to eliminate the USAID. Let's go. We're also finding out this. A revelation has come forward. A Wiccan outlaw posting that Chelsea Clinton received $84 million of our tax dollars laundered to her via USAID, asking the question, how much did Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation get? Yeah, that is insane. And Benny Johnson posting this. This is the biggest scandal in news media history. No employees at Politico got paid yesterday. First time ever the company missed a pay period. This is a crisis. And now we learn Politico, which is a news company, which spent the last 10 years trying to destroy the MAGA movement, was being massively funded by USAID. Trump and Elon deleted their funding. Now Politico will go out of business. The corruption is endless. Good riddance. Holy cow. Politico. Here are the receipts, folks. $8.2 million. It is now laid bare for all to see, my friends. Oh, and of course, we have this from our favorite Senator Kennedy, pure gold.
In Washington. I've been in the Senate for 8 years. In dog years, that's 56 years. Common sense is illegal in Washington. They can't get their mind around doing anything other than the Washington way. Some of them, particularly in the media, they go almost catatonic. Or the exact opposite, they foam at the mouth, and they really get upset. They can make a Valium nervous. It's like the world, we're not doing things the way we've always done them, and the world's going to spin off its axis.
Senator Kennedy on the Senate floor, February 5th, 2025. We have this too, a woman claiming she went touring in Egypt, and many things that were sponsored by USAID were missing. Statues, monuments that we paid for stolen. Sites that we paid for in a decrepit condition.
Secretary said. So Elon Musk and Donald Trump are shutting down USAID, and boy, do I have a story for you. Okay, so again, keep in mind that I used to be at some point a supporter of these type of programs. I was like, yeah, why not? Like, U.S. should be supporting democratic cultural initiatives that help a country progress. And in part of that is obviously, as the White House secretary said yesterday, that includes cultural programs. On the surface, yeah, why would we not want to support a country allowing women to work? And so part of this, like she said yesterday, are a lot of cultural programs. USAID is not just about food, shelter, and whatever. It's also a lot of it is stuff like she mentioned yesterday, and a lot of it is crap, frankly. So let's get to the story. Okay, so I'm in Egypt on a solo trip. Okay, I love Egyptian history so much. I was like, you know what? I was in the region. I'm going to go to Egypt and I'm going to experience it. I get a day tour and I'm like, okay, can you please take me around to the most amazing sites? Guys, the first site we go to, many things are stolen. They're in the most decrepit condition I have seen things in. It was genuinely one of the saddest things I've ever seen, especially because I have so much love for Egyptian history that I was like, wow, this is so sad. Things had dust. They were just in just the worst shape ever. Anyways, every time we go to a site, we see a lot of signs like sponsored and funded by USAID. Sponsored and funded by USAID. The crazy thing is, a lot of these things are missing. One site we go to, an entire statue, like full-blown statue, is missing. And on the bottom, there's a plaque funded by USAID. And so finally, I turned to the tour guide and I'm like, hey, where are these things? Like, we've been to like 2, 3, 4 sites now, and every site we go to, there's things missing. And it says funded by USAID. Like, where's the stuff? And she looks at me and she's like, well, I mean, And I'm like, no, I don't know. And she's like, well, it's gone for repairs. And I'm like, what? And it turns out a lot of these things are just basically gone. We have no idea, as U.S. taxpayers who funded this, where are they?
But we're getting to the bottom of it all. It's all coming out. Here is 24 hours ago, Representative Anna Paulina Luna on Benny Johnson's show saying Elon's life is in danger.
Do you think that Elon Musk's life is in danger, in jeopardy? Should Elon Musk get Secret Service protection?
I think that he has probably security in place. I mean, you don't get to that position with being stupid. So I definitely think that he's probably taking the necessary steps. But again, people, it might be on X and it might seem like something like maybe just a tweet, a post. But when you're putting out that type of information that's literally blowing the lid off of, again, I would say just a rotten to the core money laundering operation that's impacted and influenced nations falling. I think that's pretty, you have to have a big set of gall to do that. So,
yep. Do you think that Elon Musk's life is?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Here we have Brigitte Gabriel posting this from CNN. Brilliant analysis on how TDS has driven the left to insanity. Here's Scott Jennings, one of our favorite CNN analysts. I think really the only one.
We're on he's describing what is currently the dumbest strategy in politics, which is Democrats taking the 20% side of every 80-20 issue in America. USAID, people want this pared down. They want it streamlined. They want to know where the money is going. Democrats have a meltdown. Today, Donald Trump signs executive order on keeping boys out of girls' sports. Democrats take the 20 side of that issue as well. All these issues, this is like Trump's superpower, finding a bunch of 80-20 issues, getting on the 80, and everybody who's sort of reflexively against him gets on the 20. And now the Democratic Party has like a 31% approval rating. This is why. I don't know. He's just...
Yeah, maybe it's time to get on the right side of history. Wouldn't you say? Mm-hmm. Because we certainly do not want to keep funding this kind of stuff. So the USAID scandal that we've uncovered tonight goes deeper than anyone imagined. 6,000 journalists on the payroll, millions funneled through fake charities, gender ideology programs in third world countries. This is not just waste. It's a deliberate attempt to manipulate global politics using your tax dollars. Chelsea Clinton taking home $84 million? That's just scratching the surface. But here is what everybody should be asking themselves tonight. If USAID was able to hide this level of corruption for so long, what other government agencies are running similar schemes? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Which agency should Trump and Musk investigate next? How about the IRS? Join the Truth Movement with exclusive Mag Avengers merch at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It's linked below. Yeah, baby. Let's just keep this train rolling. Any more super chats to speak of? I think we have Viv B dropping 5 Next News Network memberships. How nice of her to do so. Viv B giving them, they're assigned randomly. Mike and Kathleen and Zoria, Daryl and Kathy. All welcome to the club. We are holding at $85 in super chats. And now we have this live look at the White House, where Donald Trump is getting it done. We have more. Let's continue with the news. We have so much to cover tonight. The party is just getting started. And did you bring the ice? If there's one thing that we need at a party, it's ice. So make sure you bring some, because Donald Trump has plenty of it. Let's go. If you're a sanctuary city mayor, you might want to sit down for this. The Trump administration just launched what could be the most aggressive crackdown on illegal immigration we've ever seen. ICE Director Tom Homan, he's on the warpath after critical raid information was leaked, compromising national security. We've got exclusive details about the Department of Justice landmark lawsuit against Chicago and Illinois. But here's what's really interesting. We've identified exactly how these sanctuary cities have been blocking federal law enforcement, and tonight we are naming names. The documents we're going to show you will change everything. And just like sanctuary cities are draining America's resources, rising energy costs are draining your wallet. But while the Trump administration takes control of your borders, you can take control of your power bills. That's why I'm excited about this groundbreaking device at don'twastepower.com. It's helping Americans fight back against skyrocketing energy costs, just like ICE is fighting back against sanctuary cities. Don't let the power companies win. Slash your bills by up to 60% with this revolutionary device. Visit don'twastepower.com and save 65% off during their special promotion. You'll find it linked down below. Okay, we have got a lot to unpack. Yes, if you're going to a party, what is the one thing you always need? Well, ice, right? Make sure you bring the ice. Make sure you have enough ice for your guests to keep those drinks cold. And President Trump definitely has the ice, and he's bringing it, and it is freezing cold. Okay. Here we have, just 24 hours ago, Tom Homan, new in Colorado. ICE officially announced Operation Aurora, netted over 100 members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua today alone. Arresting over 100 members of TDA was a joint effort between ICE, the FBI, DEA, CPB, ATF, and U.S. Marshals. Today was a great day for Americans in Aurora. Give it up for their joint effort and drop a thumbs up below. Tom Homan, here's a photograph of one of those instances in Aurora, Colorado. Here we have ICE operating 9 hours ago. This is a report on that. ICE operation in Aurora. This is from Libs of TikTok. Aurora, Colorado, targeting Tren de Aragua members finds apartment complexes empty. Gang members were allegedly tipped off about the raid.
Send the gift. Nearly 400 federal agents raided apartment buildings in Aurora, Colorado. Their plan was to arrest more than 100 Tren de Aragua gang members. When the agents showed up, the apartments were empty. Bill Malugin is there in Aurora for us. Bill, did somebody tip off the gang members?
Stuart, that's what I certainly believes. This was an enormous federal operation involving hundreds of federal agents from different agencies. Their goal to target about 100 Tren de Aragua gang members living here in this Aurora area. But that goal was derailed potentially because of leaks to the media that this operation was coming. And we were given exclusive access to witness all of it.
God bless y'all. Let's take these bad guys off the street. Send the Gitmo. Come home safe, every one of you.
You guys, we can rally up. Border Czar Tom Homan rallying the troops ahead of a massive federal operation in Aurora, Colorado, Wednesday morning. Several hundred federal agents from ICE, HSI, DEA, FBI, ATF, and CBP, all targeting alleged members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. Tom, you guys have hundreds of people out here. What's the goal today?
The goal today is send a message to TDA that we're going to eradicate them from this country. There's no safe harbor. There's no sanctuary for them folks.
Fox News joined as one team of agents arrived at the Aurora apartment complex that went viral last summer when TDA gang members were seen on security video with guns.
Watch your backs on the doors now. Feed them. Please open the door. Please open the door. Policía.
As the team went door to door, they found blood-stained walls, but no gang members.
Wow.
The entire complex
was virtually empty. At a second Trende Aragua link complex, ICE was met by activists who taunted them. And others who used megaphones to coach those living inside. DEA agents used flashbangs inside while serving a warrant. That led to a handful of arrests, but no TDA gang members. A stop at another apartment complex netted no arrests.
It seems like they were tipped off. They knew this was coming. So, yeah, I do get the impression that there were some intel leaks here, and I think that probably they did know we were coming, but we're still coming. And just because something leaks now and then it's not going to stop us.
Also on their radar, this previously deported Honduran illegal alien with pending local charges for strangulation, kidnapping, and possession of fentanyl. While activists yelled outside, agents recovered this stolen rifle from inside the man's home.
And Stuart, officials tell me yesterday's operation netted only 30 arrests, only one of which was a confirmed Trende Aragua gang member. It certainly felt like everybody knew this thing was coming, including the targets and the local media. We'll send it back to you.
So somebody is tipping off the gang members. We were embedded with ICE as part of a massive federal operation targeting Trende Aragua, but the op fell far short of its goals, possibly due to leaks to the media. ICE, here's more footage. ICE raiding apartment complexes in Aurora, gang members, the same complexes which the gang took control over. And the governor and media said it's a conspiracy and a figment of our imagination. Look at they're coming ready to go. Democrats just lost an election. Steve Hilton posting this. They lost an election because they went too far left, yet here they are again pushing their extremist ideology by taking the side of violent criminals against regular Americans. They learn nothing from their defeat.
And so it's amazing. The Democrats have just lost an election, and as everyone can see, because they went too far left, all consumed by their ideology instead of focusing on the actual daily needs of regular Americans. And they're doing it all over again. They've learned nothing from their defeat. And so they're fanning the flames of division here. They're sort of conflating what's going on. They're completely denying the reality of what we're seeing from the Trump administration, which is the focus on violent criminals who any normal person would agree shouldn't be here. Instead, they are the ones, the Democrats are running around scaring everyone, saying that they're next. I mean, it's just completely outrageous.
You know, it's outrageous, but it's all going to come to an end soon. Attorney General Pam Bondi has ordered the Department of Justice to cut off all federal funding to sanctuary cities. Benny Johnson posting this 24 hours ago, calling it a powerful first move. Yes, all federal funding to sanctuary cities gone. We have this. Wall Street Apes, 48 hours ago, protesters against ICE mass deportations in Glendale, Arizona. We're seeing beating and destroying police cars, completely shattering police SUVs, windshields, and causing chaos. These people are in our country illegally and are literally attacking our police, protesting being deported. Look at this craziness that's going on in Glendale, Arizona. Absolute pandemonium. Unbelievable. Kyle Becker giving an update. The GOP oversight confirms the mayor of Boston, Chicago, Denver, and New York City will attend a full committee hearing on March 5th, 2025. This follows in the wake of Pam Bondi freezing funds to sanctuary cities. So they are all going to be dragged in front of the committee, GOP oversight, and they will be publicly humiliated, and they should be. James Comer announcing this 24 hours ago. The sanctuary, this is official, the sanctuary cities of mayors of Boston, Chicago, Denver, New York have confirmed their attendance to testify March 5th. He writes, the sanctuary mayors have prioritized criminal illegal aliens over the American people. They owe Americans an explanation for their policies that jeopardize public safety and violate federal immigration law by releasing dangerous criminal illegal aliens back to the streets. These reckless policies in Democrat-run cities and states across our nation have led to many preventable tragedies. We will press these mayors for answers and examine measures to enforce compliance with federal immigration law. James Comer is on the case. Oh boy, and they're all going to get dragged in front of the committee. And it's going to be, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this. Here we have this Illinois Review posting this just 7 hours ago. Let the games begin, I say. Trump Justice Department suing Illinois, Chicago, saying sanctuary city laws interfere with ICE's ability to arrest, deport dangerous migrants. Oh boy. Trump's Justice Department suing Illinois. Oh, and I think we have Steve Bannon. Democrats demanding a second hearing for Patel, and the DOJ dropping a suit on Chicago, blocking ICE agents. Let's listen from Bannon's war room for a moment.
Dropped a suit on Chicago 224-3121. Make sure your voice is heard. Also, going on offense, the Justice Department just dropped a suit on Chicago about blocking ICE agents from going in and getting bad hombres. Game on. Game on of President Trump versus the deep state. Breaking news.
Let's go. Game on indeed. Oh, here we have Stan Lebowski. What a sight. ICE descends on Colorado apartment complex to take out violent migrant gang. Here is Chuck Calesto. Breaking report. Holman reveals he's found out how ICE operation in Colorado got leaked. Vows to put them in cuffs. We've already identified how this operation got leaked. Let's listen. He's on Fox News. Tom Holman.
Have so many questions. First of all, if they're shouting and helping these people get away with bullhorns, how is that legal to get help from the people in the streets? I know they can protest, but that's not what they're doing.
You're exactly right. When they come to they cross the line of impediment, and that's why I'm working very close, starting this morning with Department of Justice, and where do they cross that line of impediment? So they may find themselves in a pair of handcuffs very soon. So working with DOJ on that, get some legal guidance on that. I'm not an attorney. I know what SecOps is about. I know what crossing that line is, but getting DOJ back up on that. So it's something we're looking at right now, Harris. We're not going to tolerate it anymore. This is not a game. When we show up these sites, this is a dangerous job for the men and women of ICE and Border Patrol and all the DOJ agencies. To have that type of interference puts our officers at great risk. Not only the officers, it puts the aliens at great risk because anything can happen when we take our eyes off the goal here. So we're addressing that immediately today. I'm addressing OPSEC today, operational security, how these leaks are happening. We've already identified how this operation got leaked. I'll deal with that today.
Have so many.
They have identified it and they've found out. Here we have, remember that guy who was arrested for setting fires in Los Angeles, in California? Well, we're finding out the man arrested after he was caught with a blowtorch attempting to start fires was, in fact, an illegal alien because LA is a sanctuary city. He's expected to be released. So sanctuary city funding is going to go away, and moments like this are going to disappear along with them. New York Post, 11 hours ago, more than 100 migrants arrested in New York City in just 1 week during Trump's ICE raids. And here we have some video footage from Aurora, Colorado, posted by Wall Street Apes. Christelle, I'm not sure how to say that. This is who shot the footage. These red buildings that you see are the famous housing units being terrorized by Venezuelan migrants in Aurora, Colorado. Colorado resident reporting ICE just showed up and all the buildings were closed and cleaned out because of a leak. And now we know that the leak has been revealed. Here we have this from Lauren Witzke 4 hours ago. ICE agents tricked a trans-Salvadorian murderer into stepping outside, leading to their arrest and immediate deportation. California Democrat legislators are seething over the deportation of this killer.
Find the word.
It seemed like a simple request by a California parole agent in Montebello.
I just need you to sign that I've been here and I go and that's it.
But it turned out to be a ploy designed to lure Natalie Marinero out of her home and into the custody of ICE agents.
You know, it's hard to find the words to say how the government called here and tricked Natalie and lured her outside and had ICE waiting for her.
It happened on Sunday, January 26th, shortly after 10 in the morning. Natalie, a transgender woman from El Salvador, was living at a new way of life, a facility for formerly incarcerated women. In 2005, Natalie was convicted of second-degree murder and was sent to California State Prison.
She paid 17 and a half years. She paid her debt to society.
After you were detained, what did they tell you?
They told me that I was getting deported, and I said, why are you going to deport me? If you can deport me, I'm going to get tortured in my country.
Natalie's been making great choices, really working on herself, internally, externally, like the whole package.
Susan Burden says she's called the California Parole Office, and she says her calls have been ignored. She's also notified state legislators. They told her they're outraged and they will investigate.
She's been making great choices. Well, apparently not. If you came here illegally, oh boy. What's this? Ilhan Omar? Who wants to see ICE deport her?
They are actually, I would say our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable. Oh, man. The party is just getting started. And now we know this Holman knows the source of the ICE ICE leaks. Oh, my goodness. And speaking of what Ilhan Omar said about white men, I guess, here is Carrie Champion on CNN. Insistent that the United States under Trump is about promoting white supremacy.
It's about making sure that there is white supremacy in this country. And if we're honest, we will say that. It is about making sure we will make sure that people who DEI is really all these code words. You used to use woke. I asked you to define what woke meant. You couldn't really define it for me. Tell me what it means again.
Woke ideology is taking extreme views of American culture and trying to tear down America from the inside out and go outside of our cultural norms and invade every corporation, university, and other institutions.
What is DEI?
That's incorrect.
Tell me that's incorrect. But what is DEI? Tell me again.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion, and trying to guarantee outcomes instead of guarantee opportunity.
Cabinet looks like DEI.
I was speaking. If I could just
I do want us to not get off the rails, because
she just said we're all white supremacists. We got to address this.
We think a whole swath of voters and saying they voted because they're racist or misogynist. Not
I didn't say. Those were my words, yours. But go ahead.
Okay, but
you said it was about white supremacy.
I said it was about white
Democrats will keep losing if they do that.
All the voters were white supremacists, but it's not about eggs. She said it was about pocketbook issues. It's not about pocketbook issues.
You don't think people were at all motivated by the state of the economy?
Of course they were. Absolutely. But yes, and you're smart enough to know yes, and yes, they were upset about pocketbook issues. And they're also upset about what people are doing.
They do have an opportunity, but we're treated to sort of similar comments to what Carrie made tonight about race, white supremacy, all of Trump's ideology and people and voters and everything. It's all about white supremacy. This was rejected in the election. Democrats ran this was the animating thing of the Harris campaign, and it was rejected.
Okay.
And I am constantly shocked at what you're not aware of, which is
I'm constantly shocked at what you're not aware of.
I don't know. I tend to be more right about it than you are. But the reality is he did better. He did better among minority voters than any Republican in a half a century.
Yeah,
he seemed to be totally unaware of it.
But it's also true.
But if you're going to come out and call half the country a white supremacist, I think you got to explain.
I didn't say the country. I said this was about white supremacy, because what he ran on was making America great again, which is another code word. You like to say woke.
But you're saying the election was about.
I'm saying it was. I'm saying what Trump was about was making sure he is making sure that he stays back.
It's not even
unbelievable. This is what passes for news on CNN. But don't worry, folks. Nobody's watching them anymore. The ratings are down so bad, we get better ratings than CNN. And that's because of you guys sharing our work. Okay, so what we have now witnessed today is a turning point in American law enforcement. The DOJ's lawsuit against Chicago, the ICE raids in New York City, the crackdown on information leaks, it's all part of a coordinated effort to restore law and order. Tom Homan's warning to those who compromise ICE operations wasn't just talk. It was a promise of action. But here's what everyone should be asking. Why are certain politicians willing to risk their entire careers to protect criminal illegal aliens? What do these sanctuary city mayors have to hide, or what do they have to gain? Share your theories in the comments below. What's the real reason behind their desperate resistance? And be a patriot and wear it proud with our MAG Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. All right. Let's keep this party going, folks. Checking in the chat room. See how you guys are doing. You guys enjoying the show? How much money does CNN get? Gary, you deserve far better ratings than CNN. Follow the money, says Deb. I'm out of here, brother, says Wyatt Earp. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Danny Link, we got more coming up, so don't go anywhere. Don't touch that mouse. Don't click away. Let's see. Money, that's what, says Rebecca. Exactly. And checking in on our beloved White House. Let's see what does it look like? Okay, there it is, coming into view. There it is. That's where President Trump is getting the work done for America, for you and for me. That is a live look right now of the White House. Beautiful. Beautiful things happening right there. Okay, continuing with checking in on the chat. DEI, dangerous, evil individuals. Mike Sun says, because tacos are hard for white people to make well. How much USAID has CNN gotten? That's going to be a good question to uncover. I'm boycotting mainstream media for years, says Maxine. Make America Great is code word for WTH. Slash USAID staff to 10,000, from 10,000 to 294. Jonathan Floming just giving us a big flex for N3. Thank you, Jonathan. All right, we got to get more into the news here, our final segment of the evening. I think you're going to enjoy this very, very much. Okay, buckle up, my friends, because this is big. This is really, really big. Okay. What we're about to share tonight could change everything. Kash Patel's promise to release that certain client list has sent shockwaves through Washington's power circles. We've got exclusive information about why Senator Dick Durbin is desperately trying to block Patel's FBI confirmation. But more importantly, we've uncovered evidence that Bill Gates is actively lobbying the Senate to prevent these files from seeing the light of day. The question is, what are they so afraid of? And tonight we'll show you exactly why certain powerful figures are in full panic mode. And believe me, the implications are staggering. And while the powerful elite try to keep you in the dark, your home shouldn't be left in the cold. Just as Kash Patel is fighting to expose the truth, you need protection against those who would leave you vulnerable. That's why I trust this revolutionary heating solution at staywarmnow.com. Don't let the energy companies control your comfort like the deep state tries to control information. Fight back against soaring heating costs with this innovative device. Visit staywarmnow.com and save up to 60% off with free shipping. Don't wait. Take control of your home's warmth today. Okay, lots happening on the front for the list. You know what list I'm talking about. Derek Evans posting this just 9 hours ago. Senator Marsha Blackburn confirms that once Kash Patel is confirmed as FBI director, her subpoena for the flight logs on that certain plane will be approved. And she's also pushing to declassify Ghislaine Maxwell's infamous black book of contacts and addresses. Release everything, expose it all. Let's go to Senator Marsha Blackburn. I met her at Mar-a-Lago. She is a lovely woman. Let's listen.
And that a large network of high-profile, high-dollar predators took part in this horrific abuse. That's why on the Senate Judiciary Committee, I've repeatedly requested a subpoena for the complete, unredacted Epstein flight logs from the FBI. I've also pushed for the release of Ghislaine Maxwell's unredacted little black book of contacts and addresses. The American people have the right to know who flew on his planes, who witnessed the crimes, and who potentially participated in his global sex trafficking ring. Yet time and again, in the last Congress, Democrat leadership and then FBI Director Wray stonewalled my requests. Make no mistake, by blocking my request, they were delaying justice for Epstein's many victims. But now, with Republican control of Congress and President Trump back in the Oval Office, we're going to see some real change on this issue. Just last week, the president's excellent pick for FBI Director Kash Patel vowed to work with me in releasing the Epstein records and breaking apart the trafficking rings that harm countless women and children across our country. To be clear, this is not a celebrity issue. This is about ending modern-day slavery and finding out who is participating in these sex trafficking rings. And
it's on, folks. It's on. Yeah. Kelly K says, who's ready for Kash Patel to release the client list? I wonder if these guys are excited too. And here is video. This is from December 5th of 2023. Okay. This was also, you can see Senator Marsha Blackburn's watermark on the video. Also, November of 23. This is video of Democrat Senator Dick Durbin blocking the release of the client list. He announced he won't vote for Kash Patel, who vowed to release the list. Now Dems are delaying the vote. Is anyone seeing a pattern here? Okay, let's flash back to this moment from Senator Marsha Blackburn.
Jeffrey Epstein, I understand you made some statements about the Jeffrey Epstein flight logs. I had not spoken to you one time about this issue.
since we're in the business of issuing subpoenas now, here are a few more that I've filed. A subpoena to Jeffrey Epstein's estate to provide the flight logs for his private plane, given the numerous allegations of human trafficking and sexual abuse surrounding Mr. Epstein.
I understand.
Oh, yeah. It's on, folks. Remember when Tucker Carlson had this eye-opening conversation with Elon Musk back in October of last year?
Wins. But, you know, I think part of why Kamala is getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gates.
And Gates.
Yeah.
And I only ask that because you just look at them and you're like, that's a nervous person right there. I don't know. I mean, I assume you know them. Yeah.
Yes. Reid Hoffman was my vice president of business development at PayPal.
Yeah.
24 years ago.
Does he seem nervous to you?
Yeah, I mean, he's terrified of a Trump victory.
Well, now we have a Trump victory. Oh, and you want to see what a nervous person looks like? Here's a nervous person right here. Why does Bill Gates become instantly defensive and irritated when asked about Mr. Epstein? This was on 7:30. It looks like but here's his wife discussing their divorce.
I had nightmares about it afterwards.
Melinda French Gates opens up following her and Bill's divorce and the role Jeffrey Epstein played in their split. The power couple revealed last year that they ended their 27-year marriage.
Any of the questions remaining about what Bill's relationship there was, those are for Bill to answer.
That's Melinda sitting down with CBS Morning's Gayle King on Thursday, her first wide-ranging interview since the split announcement in May.
Divorce is a painful process, even when it's what both parties want. It still is a very painful, personal decision.
It wasn't one moment or one specific thing that happened. There just came a point in time where there was enough there that I realized it just wasn't healthy, and I couldn't trust what we had.
Among those contributing factors, Bill's connection to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The disgraced financier died in jail in 2019 while awaiting trial for sex trafficking charges.
You know, it was also widely reported that Bill had a friendship or business or some kind of contact with Jeffrey Epstein.
It's not one thing, it was many things. But I did not like that he'd had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no.
Mm-hmm. And you made that clear to him?
I made that clear to him.
Melinda admits she met Epstein and doesn't mince words about her first impression.
I wanted to see who this man was, and I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. He was abhorrent. He was evil personified. I had nightmares about it afterwards. My God, I feel terrible for those young women. It was awful.
In a statement to CBS News, Bill calls meeting with Epstein, quote, a mistake that I regret deeply.
Oh, yeah, and he's going to regret it when when that list comes out. We're going to find out it was more than just dinner. His wife describes it as meetings. Here we have some more. This is from the Wall Street Journal. Bill Gates discussing his relationship.
Various people.
Do you think, looking back at that moment, that you were being played?
Well, Jeffrey, in retrospect, I was foolish to spend any time with him, and he sort of, got time with various people by spending time with other people. So yes, I think I was quite stupid. I thought it would help me with global health philanthropy. In fact, it failed to do that, and it was just a huge mistake.
Has it made you more wary of connections?
Definitely. Yeah. Are you kidding?
No, you're not elected, but I think it's fair to say that you could probably pick up the phone to any world leader out there. Who's the last world leader that you spoke to?
Because of how engaged the foundation is in these global health issues, I talk to world leaders a lot.
Do you think?
Yeah. I wonder how many world leaders are on that list, too. Okay, we've got more to get into. Laura Loomer posted this 11 hours ago. Loomer Unleash asked Senator Durbin, the ranking Democrat member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, are you slow-walking Kash Patel's nomination because you're afraid Kash is going to release the flight logs?
Ranking member Durbin, are you slow-walking Kash Patel's nomination because you're afraid he's going to release the Epstein flight logs? Would you like to answer that?
Yeah, I think we got another angle. But here is Kash Patel talking about Bill Gates lobbying the Senate to prevent the list from being released. Here is your future FBI director.
We're not going to release that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list. And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing?
Yeah, what are they doing? Maybe some of them are on the list as well. We're going to find out very soon, though. Okay, and here we have, this is Dick Durbin. This is the press conference that was held just 9 hours ago. Ian Miles Chong posting this. Dick Durbin, who blocked the release of the flight logs, is leading the charge to block the confirmation of Kash Patel to the FBI because Patel has promised to release the Epstein files. Let's listen.
to transcend. Next to the nominations of individuals to serve on the courts of our land, which are often lifetime appointments, this appointment of the head of the FBI is one of the most serious that the Senate Judiciary Committee should consider. We decided 50 years ago to depoliticize the FBI by giving 10-year tenures to those who headed up the FBI to transcend any single administration or any single president. So that's one of the most important things that distinguishes this nomination from others. Secondly, we have an individual in Kash Patel who has published a book which in detail describes his view of politics in America. It is a book that is filled with grievances, filled with conspiracy theories, and filled with information of how he sided with the January 6 rioters against the police in this very Capitol complex. And so when he came to testify before the committee, we had some questions that he was asked and he needed to answer about his conduct. And we went through them, particularly on the element of the J6 choir. I know this sounds like a curious thing to spend any time on, but it's a reflection on his priorities and the fact that he's asking to head up the most important single law enforcement agency in the United States at a time when he decided with the so-called political prisoners of January 6th instead of the brave men and women who risked their lives to protect us here in the Capitol complex. He created this musical undertaking and was proudly proclaiming it to Steve Bannon, how the hard work he went to master and digitize it and create a musical work that can be played at the Trump rallies. When we asked him about him in the committee, he couldn't remember any part of it. Didn't know who the singers were, wasn't sure what I was talking about. That kind of evasion betrays the fact that he sided with the prisoners when he should have sided with the police. And that, I think, is something that's going to haunt him as he pursues this position with the FBI. I then asked him about a fellow named Stu Peters. I don't know Mr. Peters, but he supposedly is a neo-Nazi, anti-Semitic person, political theorist who has some sort of a podcast. Well, it turned out that Mr. Patel couldn't remember Stu Peters. Stu Peters, who would he be? Well, he appeared on his podcast 8 different occasions. 8 different occasions, couldn't remember him when I asked about him. You know, I have to question whether or not this man is really ready to take over this job and to guide these men and women who dedicate their lives to the safety of the United States. Something has happened since his testimony, of course, and that is the beginning of the Trump administration and their approach to the Department of Justice. Whether it's the Department of Justice or the FBI, they are now in the process of trying to rewrite history. They want January 6th to turn out to be a much different event, a whitewashed event in history, as opposed to the terrible embarrassment and disgrace that it was that day. And so they're going through the personnel of those 2 departments, Department of Justice and the FBI, and asking which individuals were involved in the January 6th case, as well as other prosecutions that might have involved the president. Sadly, we think this is a portent of what's to come, where these people will be punished or even dismissed because of their involvement. That is an outrage. That these men and women who work for the Department of Justice being asked to be part of one of the largest criminal prosecutions in our history now would lose their jobs over it or somehow be stigmatized is just plain wrong. But it's an indication of what has happened with this Trump administration kicking off their idea of justice. Next.
Okay, so there you have the reasons why he thinks that Kash Patel should not be nominated. Here's another angle of Tricky Dick. Now, he's my senator, you know, being asked some questions.
I don't know anything about
why won't you subpoena Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs?
So who are you?
Hillary Vaughn with Fox.
With Fox, of course. I don't know anything about his flight logs.
But why won't you subpoena them? Why don't you want to know?
I don't know the issue. I know who Epstein was, but I certainly don't know anything about the issue.
Well, he was charged with sex trafficking, so why don't you want to know who was utilizing his private plane?
Never been raised by anyone.
Well, Senator Blackburn has wanted to subpoena them, and there hasn't been a vote in your committee.
Said a word to me, not a word.
But aren't you curious, like, what high-profile or powerful people might be closeted predators and pedophiles? Doesn't that concern you?
Of course.
So why won't you subpoena them if you can?
It's the first time anyone has raised it. Thank you, Fox.
So are you curious about it?
Oh, wow. Talk about some direct line of questioning. Oh, man, he is on the hot seat now. Here's a clip. This is with Glenn Beck, Kash Patel, talking about the flight logs. Glenn Beck with Kash Patel.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book.
FBI.
But who? That is, I mean, there's...
that's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic schools. Yeah. We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game. That's why you don't have a Black Book. Or
but the Black Book, it's not just sitting. I mean, that's Hoover power times 10.
And to me, that's a thing I think President Trump should run on. On day one, roll out the Black Book. And not just that. On day one, roll out all of the text messaging communications we were told were deleted. On day one, play the rest of the video of the pipe bomber. On day, one of the reforms I talk about in government gangsters is you need a central node to be continuously declassifying. This is another thing they do. They overclassify. And I'm telling you, as the former number 2 in the IC, they overclassify 50% of the stuff there to protect the deep state. Oh, no, you can't see that. Nothing to see here. Gina was a master at it, of doing it. And we still haven't seen half of the Russiagate report that we wrote. Still under lock and key. On how the ICA was originally constructed. We put 10,000 man-hours against John Brennan's team that did it. And we found out why they came up with their bogus conclusion. But we couldn't sell it to the world because we couldn't talk about it. And the government gangsters came in and buried it. All of these things, there needs to be a continuing central power, whether it's the White House or offsite, that says every request that comes in, just right out the door, as long as it's not a major threat to national security.
Boom. That's why they fear him so much. They're terrified of what is going to happen once he assumes power. This came out 11 hours ago. Kash Patel says FBI investigation uncovers 256 emails between Adam Schiff and Jeffrey Epstein. This is a massive scandal, and Schiff must be held accountable. Do you support a full investigation? Now, there was a community note on this. The FBI did not uncover any emails between Schiff and Epstein. And, of course, Snopes and PolitiFact both are the ones that are cited in this. So want to make sure that this is very clear. Looks like some engagement farming to me from this account. And then here we have more with Marsha Blackburn and Kash Patel engaged in a committee.
Responses, their questions, and it has led me to one thing. Why are the Democrats so afraid of you?
I don't know, Senator. You'd have to ask them.
Well, I tell you what I think, and listening to their questions and your responses, which we appreciate, they know that you're going to go in and you're going to clean up that political cabal that has been over there for years. You are going to reposition the FBI to its core mission. You stated that earlier in this hearing, and there will be no more political persecutions and no more 2 tiers of justice. And they have liked having 2 tiers of justice. They have enjoyed it. And it has helped them. They think in their political mission, they've enjoyed targeting Catholics. They've enjoyed targeting parents. But the American people have said they want no more of that. And our colleagues know you're going to clean it up. I want to talk to you about the Epstein case. I have worked on this for years, trying to get those records of who flew on Epstein's plane and who helped him build this international human trafficking, sex trafficking ring. Now, earlier, I urged then Chairman Durbin to subpoena those records, and I ended up being blocked by Senator Durbin and Christopher Wray. They stonewalled on this, and I know that breaking up these trafficking rings is important to President Trump. So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past and how we are going to...
Their question.
Oh, man, that's why they're so terrified. That's why they are just absolutely freaking out, trying to block his confirmation. Here we have, I think this might be another angle of that clip. Actually, let's run this one. Dinesh D'Souza, 24 hours ago, newly confirmed U.S. Attorney General is calling for the Epstein list to be released.
Because we know he was on the plane, not only on the plane a couple times, multiple times. He traveled internationally with Jeffrey Epstein. And he was on the plane called the Lolita Express because it supposedly had a bed in there where Jeffrey Epstein had young girls. He has been a friend of his, a continuing friend of his for years and years. Contrast that with Donald Trump, who hasn't spoken to him in many years, over a decade, after he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for bad behavior. So that's the difference there. And I think Americans see the two-tier justice system. But, we don't know. They're saying Clinton has not been to his private island, but he has traveled all over the world.
Now, that clip was actually before she was the Attorney General. So there is a big, big fight on Capitol Hill right now. And the swamp rats are panicking because they know what's about to come out. How many people on both sides of the aisle? Okay, this is 9 hours ago. Let's look at this.
Blocked a vote to subpoena Democrats continuing to carry water for dead child sex trafficker Jeff Epstein. Yesterday, we told you how the number 2 Senate...
Here's Jesse Waters on Fox News reporting this.
Dick Durbin blocked a vote to subpoena Epstein's flight logs. Durbin claimed he wasn't blocking the subpoena. They just ran out of time. Well, the Senate was back today, and they didn't vote on the subpoena. We asked his office why, and they said, again, the timing. But Dick wasn't even ready to hold a vote. He was in Chicago, cutting a ribbon at a battery plant. There he is. Now, Epstein had dirt on a lot of powerful people. He had friends in high places and knew secrets that kept everybody in line. And he's been dead for 4 years, but for some reason, the government keeps blocking the client list. Joining me now, whistleblower and former CIA officer, John Kiriakou. Do you understand why we can't get the flight logs?
No, frankly. There's no reason why we can't get the flight logs. I used to be the senior investigator on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and we had subpoena power just like Dick Durbin and his staff do. And all it takes is a signature, the signature of the senator. It can be given at 2 o'clock in the morning or at 8 o'clock in the morning or whenever he wants to sit down at a desk and sign the paper. So this notion that they ran out of time is just nonsensical.
Well, they're not going to be able to use that excuse forever. There's going to be time. No. And all they need is a John Hancock to get the subpoena. So they can't continue to come up with BS excuses because they're going to look as complicit as possible, and we're going to blow them up.
That's right. And they are complicit if they insist on this nonsensical policy. Look, he's dead. Jeffrey Epstein is dead. He's been dead for 4 years, and he's a convicted pedophile, a convicted child molester. What possible reason could there be to hide this information? How could this information not be in the public interest? You know, it's almost a joke, Jesse, when you think, well, it's not like Dick Durbin's constituents are demanding that this information be kept secret. What district, are those people running?
Yeah,
in?
I mean, his constituents are like, can you guys get the migrants out of Chicago, please? They're not saying block the logs.
There's no reason whatsoever to keep this information secret. This is one of those things the American people have a right to know. The American people own this information, and they have a right to its release.
And if you were on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, maybe you were innocent and didn't do anything, and you deserve the benefit of the doubt.
Just like Bob Kennedy. Bob Kennedy was on the plane, and he explained himself very well. He said, look, I was on that plane with my wife and with all my kids. We were on our way for Easter to Palm Beach, and Ghislaine Maxwell offered us a lift. And that was it. And that was true.
I'm sure everyone has a perfectly reasonable explanation. Democrats continuing to carry.
All right, folks. The battle over the client list has now reached a critical point. Senator Durbin's desperate attempts to block Kash Patel's confirmation, Bill Gates' late-night lobbying efforts, the sudden panic among certain Senate Democrats, it all points to something massive brewing beneath the surface. The FBI has the files, and Patel has promised to release them. But here's what everybody should be asking themselves. Why are some of the world's most powerful people spending millions to prevent this list from becoming public? What names on that list could be so devastating that they'd risk everything to keep it hidden? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Join the Truth Movement with exclusive Mag Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. All right, folks. Let's check in with the White House with our new fancy White House button. There it is. There's the White House in all of its glory, where President Trump is doing the work of the people. That's a live look right now of the White House. Okay, let's take a look. Do we have any more super chats to speak of? I think we do. Actually. Yes. Wombat 360. I want to know what was in the insurance file on Anthony Weiner and Huma Abedin's laptop. Yes, Wombat, that's something we all would like to know. Let's take a look in the main chat room and see what you guys are talking about. Let's see. Doing the work of the people for the people. Christopher D. That's what Mr. Trump is doing. Eyes of March. I'll have what Gary's having. Slayer is okay. Let's jump back down here. Yeah, Wombat. They're acting as if Epstein is like JFK. What is Gary having? What does that even mean? I don't even know. What am I having? A lot of Democrats and rhinos. Thank you, boss. Great Scott. Elon built a truck. Boom hour. The names are big, but WTF, what they have done is way worse than most would believe. End private banksters, says End the Madness. Next, please, says Bella. No flight logs, no more paying taxes. Haven't heard of Slayer in a while. Blackmail, tangible results, joy in children's eyes. If you're privileged enough to witness, it is enough. Okay. Denying Dick Durbin is probably on the list. Oh, wow. Let's see. Slayer Rain in Blood. What is that? Look at Gary's toys. Oh, it's an album. Okay. All right. An awesome album. That's what Brian says. I can't say I can remember anything from it. I'd probably not recognize some of the music, though. Okay, let's check in on what's going on in the feed, the main feed. Let's see here. We have that vert and chat. Here it is. Okay, there it is. All right. Mr. I volunteer to travel with ICE and dealing with these people. I have bear spray who will travel. Oh boy, looks like some protesters freaking out at ICE agents. Most people have no idea how bad it was for those women swimmers who had to change all their clothes in front of Leah Thomas and see him waltz around displaying his, oh my. Please take your time out of your day to watch this. Oh my goodness. Okay. Ultra MAGA shaggy Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley goes on a racist rant about Iowa being too white. Yeah. Should someone tell her likely wasn't this as massive? I'm just scrolling here. Doge Democrats officially getting exposed. I love it. I love the memes. Anthony Sabato Jr. posting that. Oh, Senator Elizabeth Warren sides with Trump, admits debanking is a real problem at the Senate Banking Committee, launches an investigation into the debanking of conservatives. What? Quite the shift? Colin Rugg is asking, what changed? What's this about?
Operation choke point.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So debanking is a real problem, and we need to work across the aisle to solve it. I've got a stack of stories sent in by consumers and organizations that were debanked. I'd like to submit them for the record.
Under the Biden administration, we've seen the rise of what many are calling Operation Choke Point 2.0, where federal regulators exploited their power, pressuring banks to cut off services to individuals and businesses with conservative dispositions or folks aligned with industries they just didn't like the color of one's skin in my family's history. I wholeheartedly believe that debanking someone over their political ideology is un-American and goes against the core values.
Yeah, President Trump brought that up. I believe he did on Inauguration Day. Camtastic says, heard Casey DeSantis is thinking about running. Oh, come on. Another meme? Okay, I'm not going to play that. How much money have... Okay, Salty Goat putting Senator Warren on notice 3 hours ago. How much money have you taken from Big Pharma since this report? Some of us are just curious. Top 20 member recipients of money from pharmaceutical health products 2019 to 2020. Bernie Sanders is number 1. Elizabeth Warren, Mark Kelly, number 3. Open secrets. Yes, you paid for this. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth calls for a complete audit of the Pentagon. The Pentagon has failed 7 consecutive audits. How long? Oh, this is going to be nice. How long do you think before Doge is inside the walls of the Federal Reserve? Well, that's going to be very difficult, I think, because the Federal Reserve is a private bank. So having Doge go into the Fed, I think, is going to be a tall order. Yeah. Oh, here's that footage from the Iraqi Sesame Street. Chicago Bulls and Lonzo Ball have agreed to a 2-year, $20 million contract extensions, according to sources telling ESPN. And Milo has choice words for that 4 minutes ago. NYC fraud investigators ran a scam to steal homeless identities. Oh, my goodness. Washington Times reporting that. Here we have Doge subcommittee. What is this? Doge committee is leading the charge to root out fraud, waste in the federal government. Let's listen to this real quick.
have received them.
Government has wasted nearly $3 trillion in taxpayer money since
$170 billion in improper payments last year.
$247 billion.
Billions blown on improper payments.
Made to people that should not have received them.
Payments to the wrong.
Dead people received more than $530 million last year in pension payments. Medicare paying $47 billion. Hundreds of billions of dollars. Medicaid improperly issuing $81 billion.
$644 million was fraud.
And $764 billion under 3 years of the Biden administration. These improper payments have piled up to a total of $2.8 trillion.
$14 billion per month, or enough to pay for 5 years of U.S. foreign aid to all countries.
For every man, woman, and child across the country, it was $850.
Who is receiving these payments? Well, in some instances, dead people.
Marjorie Taylor Greene posted that. First hearing, February 12th,
Government has wasted.
2025. The first Doge hearing, baby. Let's go. Oh, my goodness. Democrats on the committee said they want Kash Patel to testify again because they're unsatisfied with some of his responses about the so-called J6 choir at his confirmation hearing last week. Is that really why? Wow. Okay, folks, we're going to call it a night. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What we witnessed tonight is nothing short of historic. This 18th day of Donald Trump reclaiming the White House, we've seen the kind of sweeping changes that many thought impossible just weeks ago. So let's recap what we have uncovered. President Trump's executive orders have sent shockwaves through Washington's power structure. From eliminating billionaire tax loopholes to protecting women's sports, these aren't just policy changes, they're a direct assault on a corrupt system that's been bleeding America dry for decades. Then there's the unprecedented alliance between Trump and Elon Musk that's exposing the USAID scandal. Billions of your tax dollars funneled into absurd projects worldwide. $20 million for Sesame Street in Iraq. That was just the beginning. The Doge team's investigation has unveiled a web of corruption that spans continents and threatens the very foundation of the deep state's power structure. And speaking of corruption, the USAID revelations that we covered tonight are staggering. 6,000 journalists on the payroll, covert operations in Ukraine, money laundering schemes that would make Bernie Madoff blush. The truth about where your tax dollars have been going is finally coming to light, and it's uglier than anyone imagined. Meanwhile, ICE Director Tom Homan isn't just talking tough. He is taking action. The crackdown on sanctuary cities and the DOJ's landmark lawsuit against Chicago mark a turning point in our nation's fight for sovereignty. The days of cities openly defying federal law are numbered. And of course, there's the client list. Kash Patel's promise to release the documents has sent certain senators into full panic mode. Bill Gates' late-night lobbying efforts tell you everything you need to know about what's at stake here. So to everyone who sent in Super Chats and Rumble Rants tonight, thank you. I'm looking at $90 in support tonight, and I'm truly thankful for it. It's your support that keeps independent journalism alive in an era when it's needed most. And speaking of support, if you believe in what we're doing here, we need your help to keep this operation running. Head to the links in the description to make a donation privately if you don't want to do a super chat. It supports us. And don't forget, if a donation is not your thing and you want to wear your support for the Next News Network, grab a Next News hat, grab a Next News shirt. We've even got a huge Next News Network flag you can hang on your wall. It's awesome. Just go check out the stuff and support our work at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. We've also got the Mag Avengers collection. You guys hear me talk about it all the time. It's got a picture right there of Elon and Ron Paul hanging out, and you got the Mag Avengers hat. You see the Next News hat as well. So show the world where you stand with real news and support us. So to every patriot watching tonight, thank you for being a part of the Raw feed. Tell a friend about what you've seen here. Share the stream. And when the video links come out, spread them. Share them. The truth is spreading, and it's spreading because of you. So we'll be back tomorrow with more explosive revelations. Until then, I'm Gary Franchi. Good night, and God bless America.